Not true. Not
No.
for a judge to introduce evidence. No, when a
No,
judge
no, no,
introduces
no,
evidence,
not
it's up to his
introduce.
discretion.
Hold up. He
Allow.
doesn't allow evidence to be introduced.
Allow.
There you go.
That's up to his discretion for him to allow evidence to be introduced.
Right.
He's the one that makes that decision. So that has
Right.
nothing to do. That's up to that particular judge at that date to make a decision. If they
Right.
gonna if it's a black and white person get into it, and maybe the white person had like a Klan flag, and the judge said, you know what, that's not relevant. So you can't introduce that evidence.
Simple as
You
that.
can't
Right.
pull up that social media
Right.
because that's not relevant. That's that judge making a decision.
But then, as a civilian or the person that's being convicted, you have a right to also go back and say that this should be admissible. If
No,
you can
that's
legally
an
say
appeal. That's an appeal though.
and get it, right, you appeal
That's
it, and then you
after
can
the
get
fact.
it right,
After
bro.
you got
Yeah,
convicted though. That's what I just said. You got to take that up on appeal.
but that's why we have an appellate court.
Correct.
But
That's
that's
the whole
not
point.
free though. Problem is all these things we talking about with courts and all these things, they're not free. None of this stuff. So unless you get in one of these innocent projects or something where somebody's taking up, that's a major bill you trying to foot to do all this stuff.
Well, I've never been I've never been on here saying that the law is always fair. But that's the reason why there's an appellate court. If it was always fair, there would be no court of appeals. There would be no point of it.
I know that's right. It was $4,000 for my son to get out of a drunk driving ticket, but he only got the drunk driving ticket because he refused to take the breathalyzer. So they arrested him and he got the ticket. But he had to pay $4,000 to an attorney to go down to that court and get that ticket dismissed. And if they charge him $4,000 for a DUI ticket, I know they're charging crazy money for appeals and all that other stuff for serious trials. But them lawyers ain't no joke with them prices.
Yeah, and they take in consideration, like, yeah, how much the taxpayers' money is going to be wasted on this or whatever. So there are different factors. Yeah, there definitely is, and it is always to the person who has more money. You know, we have, the judicial system has come into a place where if you have money, then you can pay me to just overlook certain things. Yeah,
I found it. I found this shit. Here we go. I gotta show y'all this. This is. I don't know if y'all ever seen this case. This is an old case, but it's an oldie but goodie.
Months after her DUI arrest, Gonzalez was ticketed.
Okay, so basically, this judge is about to set aside this verdict, and he about to chew this prosecutor out.
Turn the jury's verdict and acquit the defendant. It's a move rarely seen in the courtroom.
Right. This isn't a purely circumstantial case. And so I'm going to deny the motion for JOA.
It looks like the case is closed, but Judge Schott.
That's a judgment of acquittal, and basically means at trial there was insufficient evidence for he ain't right with it, basically.
Other business with Gonzalez.
Watch this.
Now, we have this other case for driving while license suspended.
2 months after her DUI arrest, Gonzalez was ticketed for driving with a suspended license. Problem is, the only reason her license was suspended was because of the inaccurate paperwork filed by Officer Wagner.
I want to be enlightened.
It was a mistake, admittedly, by Michael Wagner.
I know.
He testified to that today.
Just said, I know. Watch this. It gets better.
He caused her to have her driver's license suspended for at least a few months for nothing.
He caused her to have her driver's license suspended. So later on, when she gets, watch it.
So you're going to no pros that case, or am I going to get mad at you?
Now, no pros mean basically no prosecution, right? Like basically drop that shit. Dismiss the charges.
The judge is addressing prosecutor Diana Mears.
Perhaps you can get mad at me, Your Honor, but at this point...
Why wouldn't you? Wait a minute. Did you hear the uncontroverted testimony of this officer?
Your Honor.
Then I want you taking him up on perjury.
He said, I want you to take him up on perjury.
Your Honor.
Will you take him up for perjury?
He admitted it was a mistake, Your Honor.
No, but he lied. He lied on a sworn
Absolutely not,
citation.
Your Honor, and that is not true.
I'm dismissing.
That is true. He did lie.
I'm dismissing. I am dismissing this charge.
Ooh, look at my boy in the back behind her right here. Let me zoom in. Can y'all see this nigga right here? Ooh, look at him right here. Look at his face. Okay.
No, I'm dismissing the charge.
The judge has just dismissed the defendant's upcoming case, but he's not done yet.
Oh yeah.
This whole case was fishy, and I have no idea how they. You know what?
Their address on file.
You know what?
The state intends to amend
I'm
the
granting.
charge and proceed on
I
this
am.
Ooh, she's trying to talk. You see what I'm saying? He ain't trying to hear none of this shit. He said, "Look, you funky mother, y'all did this lady dirty."
I'm rescinding the sentence. I'm granting the JOA.
Judge Schott has just reversed his decision and acquitted the defendant on the spot.
So you're granting it because you don't agree with the state's decision on
I'm
the
granting the
other charge.
JOA in fairness.
In fairness, because you don't like the state's decision today, Your Honor, on the case?
No, you don't. Now that I consider what Officer Wagner testified to and how many times he basically tripped over himself just to arrest this lady.
Did you hear that?
JOA in fairness.
In fairness, because you don't like the state's decision today, Your Honor, on the case?
No, you don't. Now that I consider what Officer Wagner testified to and how many times he basically tripped over himself just to arrest this lady with no real probable cause.
Wow.
You're done. Motion to JOA is granted.
And you're not going to provide a written order on that?
Nope. You want to appeal me? Appeal me.
She said, "You're not gonna provide a written order." Nope. Do what the fuck I want to do.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Case should have never been done. Never.
Thank you for letting us know that, Your Honor.
Don't get smart. Don't get smart now, girl.
Yeah,
He ain't never put her in contempt. He let her say a lot of stuff.
Contempt of
He let
court,
her say a lot. Yeah, he let her say a lot. I ain't never seen a judge let somebody talk like that
So she
and not do nothing to him.
under the influence.
Walks out of the courtroom, free of all charges.
Yeah,
Welcome to
justice was served.
I loved it.
Justice was served.
I loved it. Yo, he went off. Yo, wasn't she talking back?
Yeah, she was almost in contempt. Like, look, bitch, you need to shut the fuck up. I said what the fuck I said. Yeah.
She was like, "Are you gonna give me a written order for that?" No.
Nope.
Appeal me.
She trying to make extra work for him. No, he ain't giving you no written nothing.
Nope. Appeal me. That's it.
But you know, that's the
Like
other
I
part
said,
of
with
it
the
too.
evidence
Prosecutors
presented-
got to be cool with the cops. Prosecutors got to have a good relationship with cops, so they don't want to sully that relationship. So they're not necessarily going to go against cops.
Well, not only that, like I'm saying, the evidence spoke for itself. Like he, as a judge, he couldn't say, "Well, I'm going to convict this person." The evidence just spoke for itself.
No, that lady had got convicted. He overturned.
Right, but then there was,
Yeah.
but then he found out that dude was lying and all that bullshit. So, like I said, the evidence spoke for itself. When you find out that there's a crack in the case,
But every judge ain't gonna sit there and be like, you know what? That's not right. That shit ain't adding up. That shit ain't making sense with this and that. And
I mean, then it's up to you.
Prejudice.
Just being
Hold on, let me say this. Because one other judge, Queen, would have said, "All right, well, the officer said he made a mistake, so I understand that. He's gonna amend it and fix it. But yeah, you were driving afterwards, and you did get that DUI guilty." He was like, "Hold up, no. The whole reason your license is suspended is because he made a mistake on the paperwork."
right, and that's where the Court of Appeals comes in.
But he
I know
could have let her go to jail and let your lawyers do that. I'm not about to do that. But he was like, "Nah, this ain't right. This ain't right." And
I mean, that's what he's supposed to do as a judge.
Right, that's his job.
Every
he did
judge,
his job in this
but
case.
judges don't do that.
Yeah,
Judges
but
don't
if
do
they
that.
don't do it, then it's up to the
Nothing happens to
lawyers.
'em.
But do people go file complaints because they have to write up why they?
Like I said, that's why there is a Court of Appeals.
They have
You
to
guys are
write
talking
up
about
why
fair.
they make. They have to put in writing why they make the decisions that they make in case of things like appeals and things of that nature. Those things get looked at and reviewed. So if they writing stuff that don't make no sense, then that gives persons grounds to do whatever they can legally. Everybody got to play their role. You just can't say, "Oh, they the judge. They supposed to do what they want to do." You got to check and make sure these people is doing their job as well.
It's just, yeah,
But that
we have a
happens more
system of
often
checks
than
and
them not
balances.
doing that. No,
yeah,
but
but
that's
all
not
or
even.
nothing is the same, Pittsburgh. You keep on talking about in every case and all the. You want to bring in different scenarios within every scenario that we bring
No,
up.
it's more scenarios that we know of that didn't happen than that did.
All of nothing.
It's more
is
of
the
them when we
same.
get. No, but it's not all or nothing. It's when we
No, I
find
said
these.
all of nothing is the same. So you can bring
Okay,
up
that's-
lots of different cases and then
No,
bring it into
but
this
that's-
one, and we know that there are injustices in this criminal. You know, that's why we need criminal
But
reform.
we can't
know that.
dismiss the injustice. That's what we don't. That's what
Well, that's why
we
we need
can't
criminal
do.
reform.
But the
We're not
problem is
dismissing
like,
it.
look, when we find these cops that are lying on the stand doing this, they're touching multiple cases. They're touching a lot of people's lives with these
We
fucking
know that.
lies. Some of
We
them are
know
small, saying nothing never happens to these people. So if we're talking like these people, there's some kind of repercussion behind them lying. It's not. It's not a repercussion
I did
behind
not
them
say
lying.
that.
It's not
What
a
I said
repercussion.
is, what I said was,
So
that's
they
why
just taking
we
the
do know that
appeal,
there's
but
criminal.
that's
There's need for criminal reform. I'm not going to deny that fact that we do need criminal reform. In the criminal justice, yeah, there are lots of cracks in that, in the way that things are presented and the way that things are handled. So there's no need to bring up all of the injustices when we're talking about
that's
one
your
specific
opinion, though.
injustice.
No,
Because
that's
we're
your
talking about
opinion.
one specific case, and if we go all over, that's what happens when you and I are on the panel. You want to go all off on, well, what happened
No,
when
but
in 1942, and that's what happened. Well,
No,
what
I never
happened?
said any of
It
that.
doesn't tie
I
into
never
this.
said none of
What I'm
that.
saying is that
I never said none of
we know
that.
that there are injustices in all different types of cases that have been presented, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's what happened in
There's
this
no
case.
but in it. But what I'm saying. Listen, this is what I'm saying, because you're trying to make my point for me, and that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that there's injustices in this system. Period. This system is about people who have and have not. They're able to even orchestrate themselves in this system.
I said that earlier. I agreed with you on that point.
But this system right here is. Go ahead.
Yeah, you don't like the system. I got it. We get it.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying the system that we have right now that's currently constructed, middle class working people are not able to participate in this system right now. Now we talking about Tory Lanez. He had the race.
They're not the jury. They don't bring middle class people into the jury.
Okay, so if I get in a case, or Mark gets into a case that's similar, do we have the money to pay a lawyer to do all of the stuff that Tory Lanez?
Now you're talking about different middle-class people, and see, that's what I'm saying. You keep on moving the goalposts.
No, I'm not. I just said
we're talking about middle-class people that we don't have the rights. Well, which
I never said that.
Stick
never
your point.
said that.
You trying to say Mark can't afford his attorney? Is that what you trying to say?
Most of us can't afford no attorney for no whole year with multiple retainers, and if we get one, we damn sure can't pay one a retainer fee and find out that dude is wrong. We've paid him a retainer fee and pick up another lawyer. Most of us can't do that. So like, this is about have and have nots as far as the system itself goes. So that's why most people take plea deals. That's why most of the prosecutors just shove plea deals down people's throats, and they just take them because they don't have the resources. Well, so that's why a lot of this stuff is sloppy.
Right. So when Shelton was on the panel before you got on here, you didn't hear me saying any of that I agree with that? That's what we were talking about?
I don't understand what you're saying.
Well, I'm agreeing with you because a lot of times I feel like you're arguing, but we're saying the same thing. So I said that before.
A statement.
Well, I said I'm making the same statement. Well, number one, I said we do need criminal justice reform. That speaks to everything that you just mentioned. That everything isn't the same, and that it is based on who has money to fight a case or not. And most of the people who are being convicted, most of the people that are in prison right now, don't have the money to fight it, so they take plea deals. And the reason why they even present them with a plea bargain is because they know they don't have the money to fight the case, and that's easy money because we have a for-profit prison system. We know that. That's well documented. I'm not arguing with you, but we're talking about this man, Tory Lanez, who has money, and the reason why he's doing 10 years. That's what I mean about moving the goalposts. He's not in the same situation as most people that we're talking about in that situation. He didn't take a plea deal. It went to trial.
Right, but that's part of the machine. That's why the machine is created the way it is. That's the way the machine is constructed. So when you enter into the system, money or no money, that's the way this machine is constructed.
And that is why we need criminal reform. But you're saying that because you believe he's innocent, and a lot of people don't believe that he is.
I don't even think it matters. So I ain't even harping on that. I don't even think it matters at this point. I think he should have took the plea deal no matter what, because I don't see how he was going to beat the witness. I don't understand how, and I think that was bad counsel for them to even put him to go to court in any shape. A black man with this situation, with that celebrity status, that he was going to overcome that. I don't see how he thought he was going to beat that out.
Well, you can counsel somebody, but it ends up with what all that matters is that what they think that they should do. I can be a lawyer and say, I don't think that this is going to be a good idea, but they say, fuck that shit. I'm going to fight for my rights. I'm going to fight for my freedom.
Fair enough.
And he did it.
Fair enough. If he did that, that was silly. Fair enough.
Tory thought that He thought that all that crazy testimony from Kelsey and him and the other people, the missing bodyguard that didn't testify at all, he thought all that was going to be enough reasonable doubt to get him off, and it was not. And he got convicted and went to jail. So, but if he'd have realized that that wasn't enough, because it's not just a reasonable doubt, it has to be beyond a reasonable doubt. He stirred up some doubt, but it was unreasonable doubts. They were unreasonable. Nobody reasonable would hear all that evidence and think that Tory was innocent. Somebody that's a fan that want him to be innocent, they might hear it and think, oh yeah, this is reasonable, beyond reasonable. But no reasonable person listen to all that testimony and would think that Tory was innocent. But he thought,
I think he's innocent.
Hold on, all the testimony conflicted though. A reasonable person wouldn't hear Meg say one thing, that she didn't sleep with him, didn't say she did. She said she's in the front of the vehicle. He said Dan's bitch, but nobody else can corroborate that. Her friend said that straight didn't happen. She said they did get into a fight. Her friend said, yes, we did get into a fight. And there was another witness that said, yeah, it was two women fighting. That's conflicting. So it's not just people want to be a fan of Tory. People are hearing three different stories from Meg, the ex-best friend, and the eyewitness who don't know none of them. And he said they was fighting. Kelsey said they was fighting. Meg said they didn't. She said Tory shot. She saw the gun pointed at her. Nobody else can say Tory pointed the gun and shot her. That guy says he was shooting in the air. Kelsey said she didn't see him with a gun at all. And Meg said she saw him with the gun shooting her. All three, those are three different stories.
But the main point is that number one, somebody shot her. Number two, the gun was seen in his hand with him shooting. The gun belonged to him. That's not enough reasonable doubt to make all of that disappear.
The witness said the gun was in the hand of two women, and then the third party, which looked like it was Tory, came in and they started wrestling over it.
Yeah, so that's the problem with it. But again, like I said, go ahead.
My question is, what is the charge? Did he get charged with attempted murder or what?
No, he got gun charges. That's what I'm saying. I don't feel like they proved this case, and I feel like he got railroaded.
Okay, well, if it's not attempted murder, then I think 10 years is excessive.
But that's probably what them charges carry in the state.
Charges though. I'll find the exact charges, but one of them is assault though. One of them is the weapon. One of them is the actual shooting, which is aggravated assault.
Assault with a deadly weapon, or aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Yeah, there's a difference between strong arm and assault with a deadly weapon.
Yeah, he got assault with not deadly weapon, just some type of assault.
But it don't matter if all of them had the gun. She said he shot me when he had the gun. So you can't. There was nothing else to overrule all of that. But if you want him to be innocent, then yeah, you're gonna think that, oh yeah, that's enough. But 12 people said no, it wasn't enough, and that's why he got found guilty.
12 people get it wrong all the time.
All the time. That don't mean nothing. I don't know why you keep saying that. That don't mean nothing.
Man, the white man was sitting up there telling all them lies, and then she went on this Protect Black Women campaign nonsense. I don't believe nothing she said.
She lied about a lot of stuff, bro. So like but the problem again is she's the victim. If she wasn't the victim and she was just lying and she was a witness, that's one thing. But the victim is pointing at you saying you did it. That's hard to overcome.
I don't know. I think they have to prove that she's telling the truth, no matter what she's
saying. At her feet saying "Dan's bitch," like this a Western movie.
I'm trying not to laugh at that. I'll be trying not to laugh at that part. Dan's bitch, bap, bap, Dan.
Yeah, I play that clip on my channel all the time.
Yeah, I'm just.
I mean, I know this is the Wild Wild West, but that's crazy. That sounds ridiculous.
Like I just didn't get that part. And Kelsey was like, that didn't happen. Meg said it did happen.
But see, when I hear that Dan's bitch, it makes me think of like when you shoot in the air, even there's a warning, what goes up must come down. So you never know where that bullet's gonna land. So don't be playing stupid games like that. You think that's just funny? That shit ain't funny. And now you know.
Kelsey's story matched Meg's story up until she got to the courtroom. Right after it happened, Kelsey's story matched Meg's story. But
no, none of them. No, Meg didn't even have the same story right away. She immediately said she broke on glass. Why did she get back into the vehicle with a guy who
wasn't going to say nothing at all about it? She wasn't going to say nothing at all about it.
But her story changed. But we can admit she said glass. Then she said she was shot. Like those are two different things. Somebody
She
got some
she
background
intended, she fully intended not to snitch on him.
Oh,
She
somebody.
fully intended not to snitch, but he was the one that kept going on and putting stuff out in the media about it.
No, that was her. That was her. That's not true. That was her.
It is
Once it
true.
came out that she got,
He was the one.
once she
kept
said that
talking
when she
about
went
it.
from the one, but once she moved from the glass fragments to she got shot, they both were doing pressers. When the trial started, the judge told him he was no longer, he had a gag order. He was no longer to be on TV. Then she started doing all those interviews, putting out her story, which was different than she put on the stand. They both were doing that shit.
No, he was picking at her first, and then she came out and said, "You shot me, bitch," because he kept going on and on about it.
No, she accused his media team of leaking that stuff out. Remember that? That's what she said at first. She was like, Tory's media team, Tory's going to the media and putting these stories out. She accused him of doing it. He was like, I didn't say nothing. That wasn't me. But she accused him and his team of doing that. But these are the charges: assault with a semi-automatic weapon, having a loaded, unregistered firearm in a vehicle, and discharging a firearm with gross negligence. No kidnapping, no attempted murder. But because why? Okay, my thing is this, Passionate Bliss. Why did she get back into the car? Because she never said, I fear for my life, so I had to get back in the car with him.
That's a good
I
question.
never even explained that part. How does he shoot you? You get back in the car with him, y'all leaving, the cops come up because somebody don't call about gunshots. And now
Didn't the witness say they picked her up and put her back in the car? She didn't really
listen. If you shoot me in my foot, look. If you shoot me in my foot,
hold on. Now, if you want to go by that, then which witness do you trust? Because she didn't say that, and Kelsey didn't say that.
Right. I don't think someone who's a victim would be like, put me back in the car with the same person who just shot me in the foot. That don't make no sense.
And who was driving? Were they driving the car? Who was driving the vehicle?
The driver.
Who was driving the vehicle?
The driver.
The driver just drove them. So they had their own driver, and the driver, that ain't making sense.
The driver picked her up and put her back in the car.
Well, maybe there was just like
one witness, but
maybe they said they were going to take her to the hospital.
Nobody said that, Foodie. That never came up in trial from Meg, from Kelsey, or the other witness. Nobody has ever said that.
Or maybe they're just going to take her to the.
I'm just curious.
Undocumented hospital.
I'm just curious why that didn't come up, and what's Passionate Bliss' reason for. Why would you get back in the car with somebody who just shot you?
Well, it wasn't really a choice. If they picked her up and put her in there, she didn't really choose to get in the car. They put her in there.
She didn't say that.
But the witness said that.
But the witness didn't say he saw Tory shooting either, though. So if you're going to use the witness, are we going to pick and choose what we believe from which witness? Like, I believe this part of this witness, but I believe this part from Kelsey, but I believe this part from Meg. Like that right there in essence is reasonable doubt.
Yeah, but we don't.
And they didn't.
He's just saying by the time he saw them, that's all he saw. We don't know if he shot her with the first shot, the second shot, or the third shot. He might have shot her and then kept shooting in the air. But we don't know.
Mark, you got somebody spamming the comment section.
I personally feel like it was fragments. I feel like it ricocheted near her, and she got fragments in her foot. I don't feel like he necessarily put a whole. He didn't put a bullet in her foot. I think fragments.
Why didn't they have?
Ricocheted and got on her. But
why didn't they have DNA on the gun of Tory Lanez? They should have had his DNA on the gun, on the actual gun, not that Trey stuff. Actual DNA they should have had. They didn't have that. And why they didn't take DNA from the other young lady in there?
Now, what idiot wouldn't wipe off the gun by the time the police get there? I would.
DNA? You could just wipe off DNA like that?
Yeah,
you wipe that off.
You can.
But look,
you could just wipe off DNA like that. And why didn't they
see the movies all the time? They wipe it off.
How you wipe off your DNA, but your fingerprints are still there?
Yeah, that ain't making sense. And why didn't they test the girl? Well, why didn't they test the young lady who was in the car? Her DNA. They ain't test nobody but Tory Lanez.
You can't wipe off my DNA and not somebody else's. Like, I don't know which one is. I can't wipe off her DNA and leave mine up here.
It was more Kelsey's DNA than it was Tory, and they didn't even test for gunshot residue until later, and she still had more of it on him than he had.
Yeah, there's too many holes in that thing. That's what I'm saying. But that wasn't enough to get past that witness.
Never was proven.
Well, I don't.
Hold on, Queen Suckers, that's not true. That was never
I don't
proven.
believe that
Who
Tory
has
is a good
more
enough guy
gun
to take the
residue?
fall for Kelsey. I don't believe that Tory's
What you say?
street cred is
That
tough
was
enough for
never
him to
proven.
take the
That
fall
was
for
never
Kelsey. I just
proven.
don't believe that.
I got
No,
you.
it was just an article that I read that said that they didn't do it immediately when they should have got it for the results to be conclusive. But when they did go ahead and decide to test them, it was more that's of her stuff
That's after.
found than on him. Yeah, it was after the fact.
It wouldn't matter as
But my
long as
point,
they've confiscated the weapon. It doesn't matter when they test it.
no, but no, it matters. Like if this is after he's found guilty, that evidence. But I was telling her that was never presented during trial.
Yeah,
Who
that's
had more
that's
gun
that's an
first?
order of presentation. That doesn't
That's
matter.
new evidence for a new trial if it's accepted by a judge. But I think he's gonna get a new trial, yo.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said. That's the reason why there's a court of
move in
appeal.
California. Money makes shit move. He probably get a new trial.
I
So you
mean, the
think he
lawyer
gonna
said
win?
that everything is open. So, you know, I
It
think
has to be.
they should try to do something because 10 years, I don't believe they proved their case. I didn't see nothing that definitively proved that their gun, Tory put it in the car, it was his. I ain't see none of that. So,
I don't see where he have basis for a new trial.
Well, because of all of the holes that people have been saying that have been presented, like they said that they didn't test the
You gotta have two
DNA, the weapon for DNA until after, and all that kind of like a lot of shit that seems that it should have been presented was not presented in the case. I'm
yeah,
not.
but that's not gonna necessarily get him another trial because he wasn't convicted from shooting me. That's just what everybody's talking about. He got gun charges. So,
Right.
The holes was there the first time. They saw the holes, and he
but
still
they
got
didn't
found
charge
guilty.
him. They
They didn't
charged
charge
him
him
for shooting her. They
assault,
charged
right?
him for that gun.
Assault case, yeah.
No, he
But
was
that's
charged with
Yeah,
assault.
yeah.
Assault with a semi-automatic weapon. That's the shooting.
Okay.
Gross negligence. That I guess that's the firearm with gross negligence because that's shooting at somebody's feet and telling them to dance, bitch. So and she actually get hit with a bullet
And where it happened, it was in the
she got
neighborhood.
hit with a bullet fragment. That's the assault and having the gun in a vehicle, a loaded, unregistered gun in a vehicle. So yeah.
Let me ask y'all a question. How much do you think that plays in the part where it happened? This shit happened in Hidden Hills, California, like where there's fucking multimillionaires and billionaires living there. Do you think that like, we need to keep our neighborhood safe?
Chicago, it might not have been that serious.
Maybe.
Mhm.
It could have been part of the determining factor.
I think the response time is quicker there, but like the prosecutor and all that, I think that goes to the celebrity of the case and how deep they dig into that stuff, how much resources they go on, because they might not even dug as
there
deep
is
as
an
would have been
appeal
in
then.
Chicago.
Well,
Yeah, if
then
it was in
if that's
Chicago,
the case, then I think there will be an appeal, and I think he might have a stronger standing on an appeal.
You gotta have some new evidence though, man. You gotta have new evidence, new witnesses, new
yeah.
testimony.
I don't think. I don't know.
I don't like the verdict. That's just not how it works. Something
Yeah,
wrong in the case.
No, well, all the things you guys are saying that wasn't presented, he could present them.
Yeah, but it's a stage. Like you present it the first stage, you present it to that same judge for the most part. Then you go over their head, then you go up again. You know what I'm
With a
saying?
different judge, though, you don't usually.
Yeah. Yeah, that first, that's how it goes.
they're gonna have to figure out.
Why wasn't it presented? Was it not available? Was it unavailable? Was it not done at the time of the trial?
But no, that's what you call incompetent counsel, though.
Yeah, his
You
defense
can
team.
say, hey,
Yeah,
look, I had incompetent counsel,
right.
and that's
Or it could have been the
That's how you
judge
start
too,
the
Mark.
appeals
The other part
process.
of it could have been the judge too. The judge could have not allowed certain evidence in too.
Well, that's the reason why
He could have said it's not relevant.
That's the reason why when you do an appeal, you have a different judge. You don't have
And
the
a lot
same
of
judge.
times people get new lawyers on their appeal case too.
Well, you should. Shit, I wouldn't use the same fucking judges that got me in prison.
Well, sometimes you have to appeal. Sometimes you got to go through that judge first, and sometimes they look at it different. Than they be like, all right, let's do it. And then sometimes they deny. Then you go, you appeal to a higher court. But my point that I was about to say was, some lawyers specialize in appellate law. That's all they do. They go through three transcripts, dot the I's, cross the T's.
That's who you should be having to present you in an appellate court. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's who you get.
Like you have someone who's specializing in murder trials. If you have a murder case, you have somebody who is in tort law. If it's an accident, you need to have someone who specializes. Yeah, you don't just get any old body. Hello.
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, I mean that's the smart thing to do. You don't get nobody who only has experience with accident chasers to represent you in a murder trial. So
Is his new? I think that new lawyer he got. They said that was Suge Knight, old lawyer, wasn't it? Is he an appeals lawyer?
Oh no, he need to fire him because Suge Knight is in prison.
After he done terrorized the world a million times, that nigga went to jail and got out so many times.
But like I said, see, that's what we talk about. Oh no, all of the things that you did before shouldn't count into the what's going on right now. No, not what you say with Suge because he's a fucking terror.
Yeah, should have been locked up. He had good lawyers.
Nah, I think he kept his dead. But
well, I mean that too. But he had good lawyers that kept him out. But
he did 5 years before, so it ain't like he just got off scot-free and ain't been doing no time in all this time. He did that 5 years before.
I think he got out
of
the field.
Running somebody over. Then wait, but what do you want for running somebody over?
He did run somebody over, yeah.
Yeah, and I think
he got 30 years, I think.
Yeah, that's after all the other stuff he did and got away with.
But that wasn't his first case. That's what I'm saying. Like if you or I, God forbid, run somebody over, bloop bloop. I'm assuming because I'm a good citizen. I have no cases. I've got, I'm a nurse. I work for the community, and that I wouldn't get no 30 years. But because Suge Knight is who he is, money or not, he's a menace to society, literally. That's the reason why his ass got 30 years. And then because, he's like in his 50s or almost 60 years old, they're hoping he do the rest of his life in there. So they gambled on that. So they did take into consideration who he is and the other shit.
Yeah, he just straight over.
But he didn't just run them over. I think he ran them over and backed over or something crazy. It wasn't like he just hit him. Yeah, it wasn't like he just hit him and oops, my bad. No, he backed the car up and ran over again. That's how you got them 30.
I don't know, but wasn't the man trying to attack him though?
Yeah, he was defending himself, but you know what? That's just karma. It was time.
I think
when he ran them over and backed over, now that was it. It was over for him. Because then they can build a whole case around that.
Huh?
Yeah, Suge ain't getting out never ever. For the rest, he's gonna spend the rest of his life in there.
He's still trying to appeal.
I mean, if he got the money, somebody gonna take the case.
Well, shit,
you said, them appellate lawyers.
Sugar Daddy Cosby got out. They working on Kels's case. He might get out.
Yeah, but Cosby should have never been in there. That was all some bullshit with Cosby. That was all.
I should have brought him up anyway, but yeah.
Yeah, that was some bullshit. Yeah, Cosby was some bullshit that they used some stuff on a civil trial and twisted that up that they should have never been able to use. That was statute of limitations. That was some stuff they should have never been able to introduce. That was all a bunch of bullshit.
There's supposedly not no statute of limitations on sexual crimes. So.
Yeah, but the original evidence to crack the case, that they would say that crack the case was based off of some statement that he had that was a proposed civil suit that he had.
I thought he admitted that he did it.
On the civil suit, it was an agreement. In order for him to have the civil lawsuit, he had to have an admission, not of guilt or whatever he admitted to in that civil suit is what they used, and that was many years.
In the criminal case, he never admitted that he did it. In the criminal case, is what you're saying?
No. But in that civil case, he admitted it as a part of that plea on the condition that he would never be tried for it again. So I'm surprised they even did that in the first place at all.
That's what I'm saying. That was wrong.
Double jeopardy.
But he never admitted. What he admitted to, the way that they twisted that, if I'm not mistaken, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. He admitted to giving her what was it? What was the drug that they kept saying? Was it
Spanish fly?
Was it Spanish fly? It was.
Mm-hmm.
That
like some downers, like some barbiturates or some shit. That shit it doesn't even exist in the world anymore.
Yeah, back then it was whatever they was using.
Who we talking about? Bill Cosby?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
That was during that civil suit when he paid them out. He admitted to having
I think he admitted to one
that.
person, but he didn't admit to all the women who came up.
But he never said he raped them. That was the part of it. He just said he had that at his party, and they.
Yeah, I think he got real dirty too.
Yeah, but that was a whole nother thing. That's where they flexed and bended the rules with all that.
Well, some tells me for some reason that Corey's gonna get out a little earlier than 10 years, but we don't know what the outcome of that's gonna be. He's gonna go back to Canada. We ain't never gonna hear from him again. It's not like he's a big star in America or anything. I mean, so who cares? But yeah, we know that there's definitely need for, justice reform, but shit, I don't know. I just feel like if he just shot the bitch in her feet and she jumped back in the car, like that kind of looks like, should he get 10 years for that? I don't know. I mean, I know that there's a shock value. Like when you're in shock and you've gotten shot, you'll get in the car with anybody who will take you to possibly some help. Like you're scared. You don't know what's going to happen. Like getting shot is not a normal thing for people who don't live, in that type of environment.
I don't know. I think there's a lot of holes in that case, but like I say, if you look at the court and the way that stuff is set up, I just don't see the brother winning, even on appeal. I don't see him. I wish him the best, but I don't see it.
I don't even know what kind of appeal he can get with them charges he got.
Get appeal. I'm saying winning. Him actually winning. Forget the appeal. I'm saying him actually winning and getting this overturned.
I mean, if they could get the appeal, then it's a possibility. But I can't even see them getting the appeal to get it overturned. Because I don't know how they spun it. Even the dude that they couldn't even prove who put the gun in the bag. So I'm just like, I don't even know how they convicted him.
I want to know where that goddamn driver is.
Crazy.
They still, I don't see how he beats that witness out, bro. That's why I keep saying I don't see how you beat the witness that's walking, living, breathing, that got on the stand and point and said you are the person that shot me.
Yeah, but he ain't on trial for the shooting. They charged him for having a weapon.
No, but he discharged the weapon. That's the problem.
They did get him for a negligent gunshot, but they still didn't prove he was the one that shot. Like they didn't prove nothing. The whole thing is weird to me.
Well, I mean, he got money and he got influence, so he'll get another look. If they can let Jussie Smollett out without not charging him, when we know his ass was bold-faced lying.
Okay, he need to be under the jail.
Yeah, we see he gonna get another case. Now he gonna win. If he gonna win, that's another thing.
Yeah.
He need to be under the jail. Okay.
Tory was seen.
Yeah, he had the fucking noose. He had the fucking noose when the cop showed up on the body cam. Did you see that when they on the body cam of Jussie Smollett when they pulled up? And they had the cop standing there. He still got the quote unquote noose around his neck.
Did you call that dude Juicy? Did you call?
Do you know why he got off though? It's because he was associated with the Kamala Harris when she was running for president. So he was associated with. I think she got him off.
Yep, she did. And the mayor, they pushed that over. Because he should have, and then that was during that cold front. It was a polar vortex where he was supposed to go to Subway and get the sub. That was
ridiculous. The whole story was ridiculous. Who the fuck goes and gets some Subway when it's sub-zero weather outside? I'm just gonna go for a little stroll and give me a sandwich. Like what the fuck? Subway was open even at 2-something in the morning in Chicago when it's fucking like sub-zero weather outside. That's ridiculous. Like you ain't never heard of fucking Uber Eats and all that shit, and even them wouldn't be delivering out.
And I live in Klan country, and ain't no Klansmen out that time of the night in winter anyway. And they don't carry around no bleach. They got moonshine. And that time of the night in winter, they would have been at home beating their wife or already drunk in a bar.
Not beating their wife.
Oh yeah, yeah. They would have been busy already. Yeah.
In Chicago though, like it's not the country.
He's always run. And Chicago ain't MAGA country. This is MAGA country where I'm at.
Yeah.
Well, we know he ain't no writer. We know that because that script he wrote was terrible.
It was horrible.
But Kamala Harris, she used him as an example when she pushed that anti-lynching bill through. Right after that happened, her and that Corey, they got together and they pushed that anti-lynching bill through and made it a federal crime. Right behind that, and they used him as an example when they did that. So I think that's why she hurried up and helped him to get out of that thing.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, but that's the problem. That's the goes board to that power and influence where you see certain people do certain things and they push through because all of that was foolishness and they knew that right away. Like they just waited to present it to us to let us know that dude was lying, but they knew that cop that pulled up probably was trying to keep himself from fucking laughing that this fool sitting up here with a goddamn noose around his neck. like hours later, sitting in his apartment. Like, bro, what the, like, come on, man. Nobody believe that shit.
And they had MAGA hats on.
Yeah.
And he still had
What-
the sandwich after the attack. He survived the attack with the sandwich.
Did he?
He
had the sandwich.
Yeah, he still had the sandwich.
Stop it. He was so traumatized he still had the sandwich. Okay. Yeah, but yeah, when it first came on YouTube and he was telling that story, it sounded stupid as fuck. Like, y'all getting behind this? This is ridiculous. He sounds dumb. This is crazy. Like, I live out in California where it gets to 125, 130 degrees. Nobody goes outside. Ain't nobody going outside for shit. Extreme weather is extreme weather. Like, don't nobody be operating no fucking well, I mean, I guess they do, but like, ain't nobody fucking. It just sounded dumb, but I don't know. I didn't, like I said,
hate crimes happen in the summer.
Yeah. Well, yeah, in certain cities, it does crime goes up. Like where it's cold all the time in the winter, like in New York, yeah, in the summertime, it definitely goes up. In DC.
Yeah, but that dude I doubt he living anywhere near, let's just say, I strongly doubt that dude living around regular people, bro. He living in like an upper class neighborhood, I would imagine.
Yeah, like a high
rise. Or whatever the fuck he, yeah. I doubt he around any of them people that's doing any of that silly stuff on that level.
No. That's what I'm saying. Like they have like you talk about, they have moonshine and beating their wives. Not in Chicago. Like they stay away from the inner cities where people might be walking around with guns and shit and shoot you.
Yeah, not where he at. Not downtown, but not where he the fuck he at. I doubt that. Yeah, I doubt where the fuck he at. I mean, no matter what state he was in, that dude is a high paid actor. And that show was booming. He ruined the whole goddamn show behind this goddamn foolishness. I mean, I wasn't watching the shit. But I can imagine if you were like on the show and this motherfucker did that, man, you'd be ready to go right over there and kick his ass. He fucked up the whole show with his foolishness.
Yeah, I didn't watch that show after the first season, but that's a whole nother story. But it was a goofy show to begin with. But yeah, he fucked up his money. That was dumb.
He fucked up a lot of people's money. I didn't watch it because they started off talking like the company that they were under, the record label, they were supposed to be IPO, and like by the second or third episode, they went a whole nother direction. They just completely forgot about that shit.
A bunch of gayness
started some other shit. Yeah, some weird, goofy shit.
And it got worse. The last season was horrible, and I was hoping that they would bring it around. But Justy shut it down before that happened.
Bussy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a prime example of that. That's why
he did it for Kamala. I feel like he did it for her, for the whole anti-lynching law and all that kind of shit. That was stupid though. But she's the vice president now, so it got her where she wanted to be, kinda. But
I mean, she's still we never had a woman vice president.
No,
so
never.
Yeah. So, and then you look at where she at. I mean, like you said, she got what she wanted to be behind that. It worked with what they were trying to do, whatever narrative they were trying to push out. And then remember, people were pushing that out and trying to guilt you.
Yeah.
Well, people were trying to guilt you. But remember, people were guilting you if you didn't believe the story initially into like, oh, you just don't like basically saying you don't like gay people because you don't believe this lying ass.
Was this the dude that was saying like he the gay Tupac or something?
Yeah, that's him. That's him. Gay Tupac.
Gay Tupac. Y'all gotta tell me about that. What?
Well, he was trying to get his music career off.
I didn't even know he had a music.
As a political argument.
I didn't even know he had a music career.
No, I'm
all that high pitch singing he doing.
Like, what was his point of? Why was he saying he was a gay Tupac? Was he trying to get his music career off?
No,
it was at the prisoner or what?
Yeah. He said that at one of his concerts. Yeah, he was on stage when he said that. He was at one of his concerts saying that he was the gay Tupac and how he fought back. He was at one of his concerts when he said that. But he do all that high pitched singing, just like he was singing on that show. That's how he sing on his records. His records didn't do much.
Yeah, horrible. Well, how's he the gay Tupac when they say that Tupac was the gay Tupac?
What? What you talking about, for you?
You know, everybody talk about Tupac was gay.
They said that?
A lot of people say that shit. You know,
They say he bisexual. He was bisexual.
Yeah, that's what they say. Like, you know, Quincy Jones turned him out. They say Quincy Jones turned him out. You know, and
Quincy
that's
Jones? Oh, okay.
No. They say he turned down Quincy Jones. Said Quincy Jones made some advancements, and he
Well,
It's
yeah, I
hard to
did
find
hear
an
that.
interview. It's hard to find an interview. But what's that dude up there in the Bay that do all the DJ
Sway.
Sway? Yeah. He did the interview. And I remember hearing it like back when I was on into Pac a lot.
I remember hearing that they said that he turned them down the advances,
Yeah.
but then he ended up with his daughter.
Yeah,
So did he really turn down the advances?
Yeah, because how that work?
Well, I mean, she's a she instead of a he. I mean,
no, I'm saying like when you go, you know, the
when you go through the father.
Yeah,
You
like
got to get permission. You know, he's a high.
Yeah, he went over to the house.
He's a high-ranking Illuminati.
Daughter. He fell
Bruh,
on the
it's not
couch
Illuminati,
watching TV with the
bruh,
daughter,
it's-
and then Quincy put his hand in his pants.
I don't understand how a man lets a man put his. I don't care how much money you have. How you don't swing on that dude? Like if you ain't gay, but
I mean, a lot.
look at Sugar Ray Leonard. Same thing. Look at Sugar Ray with his trainer.
Look at Terry Crews.
And Terry Crews, yeah, his big old buff ass.
You know, when you want certain positions and your money running low, you know, you get
Certain
compromised.
positions, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You just
was he looking for?
Pretend like you sleep. Pretend like you sleep and don't say nothing.
Yeah, they might want them for positions like that. They want certain positions, all right.
You like you said, you act like you sleep and don't say nothing that you be hearing that shit.
So in those situations, do y'all feel like Terry Crews is the victim?
That's workplace. Yeah, workplace.
Yeah,
but that's his workplace, though. Yeah, that's his workplace. Like most people ain't gonna do that at their workplace, bro. Like if your employers invite you to a party, like people be talking all that craziness, but they not. Most people ain't gonna do that. I mean, that's just what it is.
It depends on who you are, because some people think like their integrity is more important than the job.
But
some, but not most.
Like a warehouse job where if you do something wrong, you can go to the next warehouse. This is an industry where you can get blackballed. So.
Yeah, because I mean, Terry Crews had a successful show at the time that Everybody Hates Chris, and he was making money. He was in White Chicks and all that kind of stuff. He had money in the bank, so you don't really need to. But he was, if you're trying to level up, it just depends on what you're gonna do, or what you're gonna allow.
I mean, that's conditioning. That's that conditioning too. That's what he been. I'm pretty sure. Like sometimes you find out people be dealing with some shit for a long time and just get out. Because that dude apparently did that. That's not the first person he's done it to, besides Terry Crews.
But what's crazy is that you hear the story about Terry Crews and how he beat his dad half to death because his dad used to beat his mom. Like
that's childhood.
Right, but then you let this man put his hand down your pants and you didn't even slap him. Like we seen Caleb Plant do less than that. Like because he touched his beard, he slapped the fuck out of fucking Charlo. So,
but. Caleb Plant ain't smacking Al Heyman or fucking
Al Heyman
Bob.
Didn't touch his beard.
But dudes not going to work and doing it. I work in a mostly male environment and I see these dudes in the office and I've been in the office and seen a dude cry like a baby. Like dudes is not doing that when it comes to their income. They can put all that bravado and all that nonsense on, but when it comes down to losing their job or their livelihood, most people are not doing that.
But we talking about a warehouse worker versus somebody who got millions in the bank.
No, it still don't matter. Let's say you're a warehouse worker, but in your community or in your family, you make the most money in your family. You make the most. Most people ain't risking that.
There's levels to this shit though. That's different. That's what I'm saying. You're talking about a warehouse worker versus somebody who's got
don't matter. That's still a millionaire to that family. That's a millionaire. To that family, he's the Terry Crews of that family. He the one able to pay for the vacations.
We're talking about
it's the same thing.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's the same thing. I don't think it's the same thing. I think it's psychological conditioning, like you said, from his childhood. I don't know. I mean,
what's going to happen to the millions once you get blackballed out the industry, though?
Fucking invest in real estate and live your motherfucking life. That's what you do.
It's not that simple.
It is that simple. If you're smart with your money, you don't need to fucking work ever again. With $1 million, you don't need to work ever again in life if you're smart with your money.
So what kind of lifestyle you live in?
Huh?
Yeah, but when you depend on what kind of lifestyle, like we live regular lives.
Smart with your money.
Yeah, and you live in. If you got a lifestyle where you need to burn up $500,000 a year, then yeah, you might have a different
Well, no one needs to do
problem
that. Some
going
people
on.
choose to do that, and that's foolish. But like I said, if you're smart with your money and you're saying, fuck it, my integrity is better, I'm out, I'm done, I'm good. And there are plenty of people who've done that, but they're low key. You don't hear about them. They're not on Instagram and TikTok talking about jewels and all that kind of shit. And he wasn't really one of those dudes who was like flossing a lot. So I can't imagine why he wouldn't have enough money. Most of his kids were grown at the time. Why you wouldn't be able to just say, fuck it, I'm out. I don't need none of this shit. So.
And Foodie, people can. I know of a few people that work at jobs that they could have retired, like they needed 30 years and they've been working at 40 years. And they go to work every fucking day and could have drawn the pension in retirement and they won't do it. So
well,
some people just conditioned to a fault.
Component. That's the psychological component to it. When you feel like you just got to be working and you got to be doing something, like there are plenty of things. Shit, fuck it. If you got $1 million in the bank, you could go work in a Home Depot and just sell plants or something. Like you could just do what you really want to do with your life. You don't have to do. You don't need it for survival. Is my whole thing. When you get to the point where you have enough money in the bank where you don't need it for survival, then you're just greedy if you just let people take advantage of you because you think it's gonna get, like, where did it get you? Ever since that shit happened, he hasn't elevated nowhere. It didn't get him anywhere. Letting that man.
Terry Crews.
Yeah.
Terry Crews but he on American Got Talent. He hosts off that American Got Talent and some other stuff.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
He hosts all that American Got Talent stuff. He's the host of that show.
Maybe he letting them execs put their hands in his pants or something. I don't know.
Shit. I mean, people do it all the time. Men and women do that all the time. They sleep their way to the top. We know the examples of that.
For different reasons, but like I said, it is a psychological component because someone like me, I just hold a presence that you just wouldn't even approach me to do something like that versus some of the younger nurses or whatever I know. They're like, well, what should I do? This person, well, fucking go tell on them, and then they're afraid to tell. Well, bitch, then don't tell me because I can't do shit. Because that person knows not to approach me. That same person wouldn't approach me that same way because of the way that you carry yourself and the way, people know they're victims.
Right. Don't they say HR girls? I would see, especially at the hospital, I would see a lot of those girls. They leaning over the doctor's shoulder, pressing on his back, and all kind of things, and making
well, that's different. Those are opportunists. Those are opportunists. Yeah, but like there are some girls who are just they get caught off guard because you're young and you're pretty. And they're not the doctors. I'm talking about patients. Like there are certain patients who will just try to corner you into a room. Yeah, they'll try to corner you into a room, and I always tell them, first of all, if you just trust your gut. Don't go into a room and close the door behind you when there's somebody who's 6'8" and he's looking at you a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Like, use your sense. Like, I'm gonna keep the door open and I'm gonna stand by the door. Give yourself an out, because these people will try to, like, if somebody try to close the door, you fucking get out of there. Like, don't let that person corner you into a situation that you can't get out of. It's no different than like.
It's people that go to the hospital just to sexually assault like nurses and shit.
I don't think that's their goal of going in. They're going in because they have a problem, but they see something that they like, and men will be men, or a predator will be a predator, not just man will be man.
Some reason, and if you're the night nurse, for some reason they always say, "Oh, you're the night nurse." For some reason they do it to the night nurse quite a bit.
Well, some of the night nurses get caught in some weird predicaments with the patients. Like, there have been cases of night nurses get caught having sex with some of the patients. Like, yeah, he in here for kidney failure, but his thing still works, so I'm gonna hop on it. Like, there's some weird old, dynamics. He just like the nurses who work in prisons and be letting the prisoners out, or I mean, there's psychological components to it. But I'm just saying, like, if you get caught in a situation that you don't invite in, there are certain ways to safeguard yourself, not to get into certain situations. And they teach you that shit in sexual harassment training. We have to do that long, boring ass shit every year online, where you gotta, if this happens, then you do this, and this happens. Like, what's crazy, like I was saying before on this panel, like, I used to work for the VA in a certain area, and they said, like, if you're walking by and you open a closet door and you see two people having sex, you're supposed to say, stop. And if they don't stop having sex, then you just stand there and wait until security comes. Like, what the fuck do you mean? Like, if people are having sex in the closet, how do you know that it's not consensual? You know what I'm saying? They're saying, well, you should assume that they're being raped. I don't know about that. I don't know that you should just assume that people are having it, because people do that shit willingly all the time, you know. So there's different scenarios to that shit. But if you're in a situation that you feel uncomfortable, you should just your senses will tell you, I don't feel comfortable going into a room where I have to close the door behind myself and I might be, trapped in a room with this person.
I seen another Instagram reel recently where another actor was talking about he had certain advances by certain people. So I think that's actually coming in the industry, like the movie industry.
Yeah, but it's not just that industry though. I don't even think it's just that industry in particular.
But it's more prevalent. It's more prevalent because there's more money involved.
Yeah, I think look, like a lot of them people, especially we're not even talking about no big execs. It's usually like middle management. The person got a little authority, and what you'll find out is a lot of these people, they have more than that. Won't be the first time that they've had a sexual harassment charge against them. It's just nobody knew about it. These people are predators. Some of them are there, and they do it all the time, because most of the time women they just don't say anything for whatever reason.
Well, a predator knows their prey. And then there's a caveat to it, like you said. I mean, it gets tricky because sometimes the predator or the prey knows how to manipulate the predator back. Like, okay, if you want this, then you're gonna have to pay me a certain amount of money, or I'm gonna tell because I have enough evidence to, prove. Especially nowadays with the cameras and shit. Like, I can prove that I wasn't the So like for instance, like I was saying before, like I knew a girl who was like 12 years old. She looked like she was grown, but she was 12 years old, and her mother talked her into, this guy was after her. He was a grown man, old ass man. He had like social security checks and shit like that. And that girl got him into a predicament that she's like, I'm gonna tell if you don't give me your social security check until I turn 18. And he did. He did, because he knew that, that was before cameras. He was just like kind of old, sick dude. He wasn't like very smart. But, sometimes, people will be pimped out by their own parents. They'll be molested by somebody, and they'll be like, okay, I know you're being molested, but you can get money from this person, just to, to pay for their silence. So there's some sick shit out there.
Look, Robert Kelly, look how many parents was taking their kids up there. Kids' parents or teenagers were taking their kids over there talking about he gonna help them with their music career. Like, come on, man. Like,
that's a good example of what I was saying. Yeah, I agree with that.
What the fuck? Like, what are we talking?
This nigga like documentedly, he documented married a 14-year-old when he was 27.
Yeah. Then later on, the parents are trying to say that, he stole my baby and this and that. Like, nah, man, you went and dropped your child off over there. Even though it was wrong then, it's wrong now. You just got locked out of the money. You basically pimped your kid out. That's what you did.
Yep.
Tricking your kid out.
Yep.
And didn't they say that he has a pretty good chance of getting out on appeal?
Yeah, because he didn't get convicted on any of those things. Like I think he got whatever that Jack Johnson law that they had. That's what he got convicted on, and some other charges. It wasn't necessarily statutory rape. It was some other shit. I don't know the charges.
When
it was like specific charges he had.
Moving girls to different state lines between different state lines.
Yeah, that's that Jack Johnson shit. Yeah, that's that Jack Johnson shit.
That's pimping and pandering. Like, I think that's pimping and pandering.
No, this was Jack Johnson. That law came from Jack Johnson with the white woman. They kind of remember they had made a law with Jack Johnson when him transporting
the Man Act. It's called the Man Act, bro.
Right.
There you go.
Well, why isn't it trafficking if he moved them across state lines?
Because
I thought that was pimping and pandering.
They started that thing because Jack Johnson was dating these white girls.
Yeah.
Yep. There you go. It was about Jack Johnson and the white women.
And that's a federal case. That's federal case. That's
right. And they flipped it, and that's not what he's. So I don't know, but that's one of the charges. I don't know all them shits, but I don't think any of them are related to him and his pedophilia. I don't think none of those are related to that.
Right. Because the girls were like barely legal, I think. I think
I
they
don't
were
know.
already. It depends
I
on
mean,
how
they
old
could have
they were
proved
when
it.
he started the affair and how. Yeah.
Yeah, if they could have proved it, they would have did it. So they ain't taking light on that nigga for no reason. They just couldn't prove it.
I just know I saw that special and I was like, man, they need to get this dude. But then I'm like, oh, I can't stop listening to his music, man. That shit is fucking part of my fucking childhood, man. Kels, like I can't. I mean, he may need to be in prison. I'm not saying he don't, but I can't stop listening to his music, man.
I mean, all our favorite celebrities have dark secrets, though.
Well, I feel
especially
like
that.
I can listen to the music before I knew that he was a pedo, but the music after the pedo, that's what I can't.
But when was that? Because he had Aaliyah.
Yeah, he told you age ain't nothing but a number.
Yeah,
but a thing. He told
He
you.
the Pied
it
Piper.
seems like you're
He's
ready.
the Pied Piper.
You talking
You
about
ready?
seems like
He had
you're
so
ready?
many songs.
Yeah, the Pied Piper. That's it. You know, me and my homeboys was having a conversation about that before, and this was way before he got convicted. And they were like, "No, he didn't do it." I'm like, "But that nigga say he's a Pied Piper, and that dude be leading all the little kids, you know, to the neighborhood or whatever the Pied Piper did. Like that was some weird shit. Like he took the kids out of their parents' home and led them to where, like, to do what? You know, like that's what the Pied Piper did. Like that
But
nigga
you
was
can't do
The
that.
Pied Piper probably was a pedo. They was teaching us about pedos in our childhood, and we didn't even know it.
He
But
sounded
if you
he
do
sounded
that,
he was.
yeah. But
Like
if you
you-
do that, you won't watch any movies. You won't watch no movies. You won't listen to no music. You can't watch no TV shows because a lot of these dudes be doing this stuff. Like it ain't just him. Like it's a lot of them, and they build. Like look at Elvis over there where he got a big ass mansion, and you know that motherfucker was a pedophile. Like he got a whole mansion and days and all kind of crazy shit.
Yeah, he married Priscilla when she was like 15 or some shit like that.
Yeah, some weirdo shit. Like man, I mean it's too many of them.
And with
And R. Kelly
what's his name? Jerry Lee Lewis. He married his cousin. She was like 13.
Yep.
Great
It's a
Balls
lot
of
of them
Fire.
doing weirdo
Yeah,
stuff.
that's just crazy.
And you can't stop listening to R. Kelly because he got not only the stuff he produced, but all the stuff he written, all the stuff he produced. Like it's so much music. Like it'll be hard
we
to
were going
listen.
down the list. Like, damn, if I stop
It's
listening
so
to
much
him,
music.
I can't listen to Maxwell because he did that shit. Fortunate. I love that song. And then B2K and all them shits. Like, damn, I gotta stop listening to music entirely from the 90s if you
No
fucking stop
R&B.
listening to him.
Yeah, no R&B at all. It's a lot of your favorite
From
R&B
the
90s
90s, yeah,
hits
that
is
nigga
from,
had that shit
from
on
him.
lock.
And the
It's from
2000s.
him. 2000, yeah, some of the 2002, yep.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Like, damn, you can't fucking blackball somebody like that as far as listening to him. Like I said, I can't say he ain't supposed to be in jail, but I can't stop listening to his shit. I can't boycott him.
Shit, we ain't get rid of none of the Weinstein Group movies that they made. They just changed the name. They changed the whole name of that. They got rid of that name, but all the movies they pumped out, I believe they did Batman and some other mega shit. Ain't nobody stopped watching none of the movies and TV shows. The Weinstein Group was huge for Harvey Weinstein. They disseminated their whole group. His ass did whatever time he pleaded to, and that's that. They act like this shit never happened. But his hands, he touched so many movies and TV shows. That's why nobody wanted to say anything against him.
Yeah.
Because he had his hands deep in that shit.
He's so literally, but he's so gross though. Like, ugh. Like, I mean, at least R. Kelly is attractive. Like Harvey Weinstein, they talking about like, yeah, he would be, he'd invite you into the room and then he would just be masturbating in the shower. Like, ugh. Like, how do you not run out the room on that shit? Like, gross. I'd rather do B and C level movies than to fucking see that nasty gross shit. But
Are you gonna be on Hulu? You gonna
I'll be on
Tubi?
Hulu, on
You on
fucking Tubi. Shit, it pays. Yeah, I gotta look at that fat nasty motherfucker gross. But yeah, I mean, you know, it's all about integrity and what you're willing to do for the money.
But
The
shit,
love of money.
didn't Lil Wayne mess with Lauren London when she was like younger? She wasn't even of age yet when they
Yeah, his first
started?
3 kids. Yeah, his first 2 kids was like that. His first 2 kids, baby mamas, 2 or 3, they were all underage, and nobody
No,
said
but
nothing
he was
about
young.
that.
They were under him and the first one. They were both underage.
They were
No,
both.
no. He was over 20 something, and that girl was
Nah,
under
they were
18.
14 and 15 years old when he got with Toya.
No, that's not true. Look
Yeah,
it
look
up.
it up.
That's
Look
not
it up.
true.
Look it up. They were
Yeah,
both young. They were both under
the first
18.
two. I don't know that one particular, but his first two kids,
Toya is the first
two
one.
women. Well,
Yeah,
she was
Toya.
underage when he was messing with her.
Nah, because
No.
he
was
Look at the
underage.
age. Look at the
He was
age of their
only-
child, and look at how old they are. You'll see.
he was
Just
only
do the
like
math.
16 or 17 when he
Nah,
had.
that's not
Yeah.
true. The
Yeah,
first
when he
two,
was
no.
making ass money.
Nah, that's not true.
No.
There you go. There you go.
No,
Look it
the
up.
first two, no. I had to pull over and look it up. But I know the first two women he was with, that is absolutely not true.
Nah, Toya is the first one, and he had Ray Janae. Him and Toya had Ray Janae, and they were both underage. They were both like kids.
Yeah, they were.
Nah, they wasn't. That he
Yes,
was
they
not.
were.
I mean,
He
y'all
met her in high
recalling
school.
something that didn't happen.
Somebody look it up and put it in the comments. Yeah.
Brother, he met her in high school
Yeah.
Nah.
before he dropped out.
No, even before they were in high school. She was like 14 when she got pregnant with Ray Janae and had her when she was 15.
Nah, that's not true.
And then
Yeah,
they
they
got
were
married.
both on the
Yeah.
age.
Yep.
I remember that.
He's not that much older than Toya, so just do the math and see. Like Ray Janae is like 23, 24 now, and he's not even 40 quite yet. I don't think he's a Libra. His birthday's next month, so
Nah, he ain't a real Libra though.
how?
Only October babies are the real Libras.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah. Unless you Terrence Crawford, we claim him.
And T.I. and him, I think have
Nah,
the same
T.I. ain't
birthday.
and
And Will Smith. I think they all got the same birthday.
No, they close around. Like, they all end in September.
Because I'm right on the border. My birthday's September 22nd. I'm still a Virgo. If I were born a day, it's the 23rd. September 23rd starts Libra season. That's what's her name? Lisa Ray. Yeah.
What they call it? That's the crust. So you still got like Libra influence in your.
Yeah, but it depends on how many placements you have in your astrological chart. I have four Virgo placements. I'm also a Virgo rising and of a North Node. I'm a Virgo North Node. I have 4 Virgo placements, and I was born really early in the morning, so I'm a Virgo for sure. Like my whole personality is Virgo. Like I'm totally atypical. Everything got to be right. Everything got to be clean. Everything got to be like I'm a Virgo for sure. And my mom is a August Virgo. She's August 29th. Her and Michael Jackson.
Oh, okay.
And we're like a lot alike. Like shit got to be right. But we're also laid back too because we know everybody isn't like.
No. Michael Jackson was born like August the 21st, right?
29th.
Oh,
August 29th. Him and my mom.
I could have sworn he was a Leo, but
nah, he's not a Leo. No, he's a Virgo. And Beyonce, like we're just like the shit got to be right. Like when we we work.
Whatever happened to that daughter? Whatever happened to Michael Jackson's daughter? The one
he
that
did
they
5 years. He did 5 years.
He did 5 years.
Yeah, he's free. He's free. I think he got released in 2017 or some shit like that.
Yeah, he did his time and went on about his life. Yeah. And Nas is a Virgo too. Nas,
Bro, somebody look up Michael Jackson's birthday. I swear he a Leo.
well, go ahead and look it up. Yeah, he's August 29th. Yep, he
Hey,
definitely.
but y'all think? Hey, but how much? I don't even know how to even that whole Michael Jackson with the daughter thing. I don't even know about that stuff right there. That was kind of the daughter was just. It's almost like the Aaliyah thing, where the person that's supposed to be the professional, they didn't want to go against the celebrity. Where Aaliyah, it was the whole luggage where they just put all that luggage on there because she said put it on there. They said fuck it, we gonna put it on her because she said put it on the plane.
Well, they
Same
say
shit.
that they say that Aaliyah's mom was fucking him too. So.
Well, who you talking about? Which one?
R. Kelly?
R. Kelly?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that too. Yeah.
For real?
So if moms was doing it, and she was like, just come on in, shit, just join the party, shit. It's money over here. She was pimping her out.
They gave the publishing right. I heard they also gave him like the publishing rights too. Something crazy.
Yeah,
to the mother. To the mother.
Yeah,
the
because
father,
her uncle, Barry Hankerson, yeah, he had a relationship with R. Kelly, not a sexual relationship, but I'm just saying, yeah, he finagled his shit like that, and he saw something that he wanted on the way. So, I mean, as much as I love Aaliyah, I love her music and shit, but like she's as innocent as people thought that she was, She was over
I mean,
there.
but she was a young girl being manipulated by these old dusty ass dudes.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
she
and she was
wasn't as
groomed. But
talented either.
at that time, but I'm just saying, like when she was fucking with Dame Dash and Jay-Z, and you know what I'm saying, like she had them arguing over there and shit, and like, you know.
I mean, she was only 21. Her brain wasn't fully developed yet, so.
Yeah,
She was a young girl. Yeah, she was a young girl messing with these old dusty ass dudes.
And she'd already been
she was just
groomed.
too young.
She had already been groomed, from a young age. Remember, she was on
No, I just
fucking.
think it was too fast for her. I think it was too fast. Like kids that come out of your household and you got a regular house and then you put them in that environment, that shit too quick for them. They couldn't keep up with that shit.
Well, especially if you don't have nobody protecting you. You know?
Yeah, they don't know what's going on. It's too fast for them. I mean, they're adults technically, but they're not able to handle that shit.
Well, she wasn't an adult when she was like, fucking with R. Kelly at 16. She's like, oh yeah, we're best friends. Like he had groomed her. Remember when they were on I don't know how old y'all, but back on the VH1 Soul where we had Donnie, what's his name with the green eyes?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and Sherry, that lady, and then her and R. Kelly were on the couch talking and giggling, and they had on matching shirts, the little Mickey Mouse shirts or whatever. Back when we used to wear baggy clothes, and she's like, and they're like, well, what is your relationship? She's like, well, we're best friends. Like, no, that nigga ain't your motherfucking best friend. That nigga is exploiting you. You're being exploited.
But who's to say that she wasn't told that that's what best friends do?
Well, that's what she was thinking with the 16-year-old mind.
Yeah,
like,
she was too young.
Like, we're the same age. She would have been the same. She's, a little older than me. She would have been 44 years old. So now, if she were having this conversation, she wouldn't be thinking the same. But at 16 years old, you think this dude, he's influential. He got all these hits. He's handsome. He's got money. I'm being chosen. You think like he's choosing me over all of these other women who want him. You think that, you think that it's something like it's genuine. And no one is telling you like, this dude is fucking exploiting you. Like this dude don't want nothing but, one thing from you. And then he's going to discard you.
Now, what's so crazy about R. Kelly? Like he mastered being like, in tune with the time. Like I remember like I'll go back and like when people was rocking bald heads, he had bald heads. When people was froze, he was rocking froze. When they had cornrows, he had cornrows. When they was like he did that, and he did it so effortlessly, like you wouldn't even notice it. He just always.
It's true because I didn't even notice like from '94 when he was with the bald head, or like when he first came out, he didn't have the bald head. Like if you look at the album cover of Born Into the '90s, his first album, he had the low top fade, and then all of a sudden he was bald, and then all of a sudden niggas was bald, and then turn around and they had cornrows, and he's like, I wish, like you're right, like that nigga just flowed with the times, and it looked good on no matter what he did. He looked good on it. It looked good on him.
God, that motherfucking boy. R. Kelly cold, man. I mean, I hate
he cold as fuck, man.
Yeah, I always mess with them young. He always mess with them young girls though. Like he got a track history of messing with. Because remember, R. Kelly has been an old dude for a long time. Like he ain't never been no. Like as far as he been in the mainstream of that shit.
Like, we were like, he's 27. Like damn, we didn't.
Yeah, he was an old dude when he hit the scene and he got real popular. He wasn't never no like 16-year-old on the scene like that. That ain't how that went.
But when you think about it, Pittsburgh, like all them dudes was kind of older. Like they were all acting like they were younger, but they were older. Like look at Backstreet Boys. Like them niggas was old. And New Kids on the Block, they were old. Baggy.
It was the clothes. It was the clothes that they were wearing back then. Clothes.
Because it takes a long time. It took a long time to make it back then. So they were like, "Oh yeah, let's just get the baby face dudes, and then they look younger, and then we can appeal to the young girls." But like back in like '99, when Backstreet Boys, them niggas was like 23, 24, and they had these 14, 15, 16-year-old girls just screaming all over them. Like them dudes, it took a longer time to make it back then. So they were a lot like Aaron Hall and. All them niggas was like 30 years old. Aaron Hall like the little girls too.
Yeah, I forgot about him. Yeah, he another one.
He was with Gloria Velez. She was like 14 when she got pregnant by him.
Yeah. But that kind of like will go back to the times of those. A lot of them dudes was doing that weird stuff back then. And it wasn't just that dude. You had a lot of teachers. You had a lot of counselors, pastors. All these people were doing this shit. So it wasn't like no, I mean, I hate to say it, but that's just what they were doing back then. It's some weirdo stuff. Whereas now, Yeah, whereas now, like people got outlets where they can get on social media and do all that. Like that shit wasn't available back then. So a lot of that shit was secret, and you found out when the motherfucker died, and that person's mama took them over there to the funeral, and they were fighting with the wife. That's when you find out a lot of these pregnancies, a lot of the shit that these people was knowing. It's like a lot of little secrets that people had.
Well, that's because, like, in society, young women are taught to go, if you're mature for your age, if you mature for your age, you need to be with, boys who are older. And the older dudes would convince you. They would, like, manipulate your mind. Like, oh, you're mature for your age. Yeah, you should be with somebody who's older. And a lot of times, them dudes would be lying about their age. Talking about, oh, yeah, I'm 17, 18, 19. Now, that nigga 23. That nigga 25 years old. Like, you wouldn't be able to tell, because how the fuck would you know? Like y'all are into the same shit. Y'all got the same mindset. But, and a lot of times, if you if you get pregnant, your mom just kick you out and you just stuck with that dude. And then you find out that this dude's kind of older. So, yeah.
They know though. They know. The parents know. Like if you got kids and your kids start dating, you looking at that dude, that woman or dude that they bring in the house, you know that motherfucker ain't no goddamn teenager. Yeah. You fucking know. Even if the kid don't think they can tell you whatever the fuck they want to tell you. You fucking know. Like, nah, man, you gonna get the hell away from my house with that, man. They know better. But the problem is that the person that's doing it, the young boy or the young girl, they sneaking out the back door and they kind of trying to go around the parents. Now,
or if they have money. If they have money and they're putting money in the house and they're poor, then they'll fucking let them do whatever.
They do.
Like look at Tina Turner with Ike, like, she's like, no, fuck that shit. You gonna go with him? Like, he was making money. They were making money together. Like, what are you gonna do? Stop the money from coming in here? And same with Michelle A. There was just a culture of like, if he was beating her ass, but like, fuck that shit. Dre put money in the house. Like, he's doing more than you could do. So he getting us out of a bad situation.
It really wasn't no domestic violence back then. They didn't really have that. They had it to the point where the cops will come and show up, and then the cops will tell the dude, hey man, they wasn't to the point where now if the cops show up on domestic, somebody ass going to jail. Yeah, cops could literally come there and have discretion and leave. Like, that's not what they doing. Ever since OJ, they stopped that shit. If the cops show up, somebody ass going to jail. Somebody leaving there. Both of y'all ain't finna fucking stay here. That's not finna happen. But prior to that, like in the Ike Turner days, dudes, especially down south, dudes would call the cops. They call the cops on their woman. And the cops would come out and say, hey, why you acting up? And they'll leave. They won't take that dude to jail. And I'll busted up, lip busted up, and they would just leave.
Well, it was before OJ, because there were just simply no women rights. So before the women's liberation movement, and women were saying, fuck the shit, I don't want to have to stay in this situation. I want to be able to make my own money so I can get out of a bad situation. Women had to stay. They had no other way to survive. So the cops would just be like, fuck it, that's your wife? That's none of our business. We're going to just go on and move on. They didn't look at women as, people who had a right to speak up for themselves.
Yeah, that was a way different. Tina Turner, that was a whole different.
That was back then, before
that's way different. That time was way different, than it is now. That shit ain't even remotely close to being what it is now. It's not even.
That's what I'm saying. It's way before OJ.
And then look, right before that, you had Nina Simone with her husband / manager / whatever he wanted to be to get in them pockets and take all her money, and that guy notoriously beat the hell out of her, and that lady, and she was a famous singer, and he was beating the hell out of her, and nobody did anything about it, and taking money from her, and telling her what to do, and this, that, and the third, and she had songs to recount that.
Well, her and Aretha Franklin, she was always notoriously in bad relationships. Like, they would say her music would reflect whatever mood she was in. Like, if she was going through it with her dude, she wouldn't want to come in and record. And then, if she was doing good, then she would have fucking, dope ass songs, so but then again, she had her first child when she was like 12 years old. So, that's childhood trauma, obviously, right there. There was a lot of shit that women did. They were not taught to speak up for themselves, because, like I said, because people were so poor that if there was a man involved and he was giving money, he knew he could just hush up the family with the money and do whatever he wanted to do.
Yep. And if you're not popular, because remember Nina Simone wrote that song, Mississippi Goddamn. That pissed everybody off when she wrote that song. So she wasn't on the list, a high list of people who actually they wanted to fuck with her because the way she painted the South and the way that it would have looked through her lens.
Isn't that
So
the
they
one
didn't
that
want
said, Southern trees have strange fruit, blood on the leaves, blood on the root?
That's a different song, but yeah, she's the same person though. Yeah, she's the same person. Yeah, so she had all these songs that they didn't really want her performing certain songs in certain cities, certain things. So that's another part of it too. If you're not popular, they don't fuck with you.
Yeah, that was politics. Yeah. I mean, they did the same thing to Ali. You know what I'm saying? They would blackball you if you spoke up for yourself. That's what I'm saying. So if they were doing that to men, you can imagine what they were doing to women who wanted to speak up for themselves in their own household. You know,
I mean, they still blackball you today.
Huh?
They still blackball you today with the council culture.
Yeah.
No, it's not the same though, because now you're talking about countries and states. Yeah, you're talking about individuals. I'm saying back then it was states and countries that were like against you, like DAs with prosecutors, and like that's a completely
put
different.
You in jail. Yeah.
That's a
You're
different
a political
situation.
prisoner. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you were a political prisoner. Like that's what they did with the whole Black Panther movement. You know, they were picking up traction, and they had basically enough people that could possibly challenge the government. That was a threat to them. That was a real threat. So they definitely had to stop that. Same with it. MLK. They killed him. Same with fucking Malcolm X. They killed him. Once people start changing their mindset. MLK, he wasn't really a threat, but then he had all them numbers. When you get numbers, there's strength in numbers. And once you get that shit, then you are a governmental threat. You are a political threat. And you can change, you can make actual change. Can't do that shit. That don't work to our advantage. We gotta stop that shit.
I mean, it's easier for them. We don't have to worry about that. The government don't have to worry about that now because they kind of separated us out into all these different groups, and once we get part of the group, it's like you get shamed if you don't roll with the group, either political, religious, workplace, whatever the group is. Once you're part of those groups, you can't go against the group or the group turn on you. That's the problem with it, where we at right now. There's no individualism. It's like an all or nothing where you have to accept everything that the group does, or you're called all kind of crazy ass names.
Yeah, it turned into a popularity contest. When Black people or people of color started praising celebrities because they started making certain amounts of money, and they look at that as freedom, then it turned into a popularity contest. And so whoever's most popular wins. And you can control the public by their popular interests, not by who's actually making change. Because if you look at it, Black people are the only people who praise celebrities and look at celebrities as leaders. We don't have any leadership in Black society anymore outside of celebrities, basketball players. And, you need to be leading the people like this. Oh, you're a rapper. You should be. No, this is a motherfucking rapper. Like, he shouldn't be leading the people. He shouldn't be influencing your children. You should be influencing your children. So when they started being able to control people by whoever's most popular, then that's it's just turning a blind eye to what's really going on.
Yeah, but that's probably gonna get worse. Because now your dollar isn't worth as much as it used to be. Everybody see that when they go to the store and they purchase things. So now that whole one person stay at home and one person work, that's non-existent. So you got two parents working, and then they're trying to work and raise a family at the same time. So you have less time to combat the societal norms, which are crazy. You're not really present to do that because both of y'all have to work. You can't really have one person sitting at home or partially working and doing the things that they used to do back. That just doesn't really work like that anymore.
It's not impossible though. It's not impossible, and it's not just about particularly two people working. It's because we don't do group economics anymore, as far as like grandma used to be able to be the one to watch the kids, or somebody in the family used to be able to be the ones who watch the kids. Now people are so spread apart all over the world, like you don't even have any family to help you out. So therefore, you have strangers watching your kids. You don't know what these strangers are telling your kids, or the kids are just by themselves, and you don't know what the fuck's going on. What their influences is because of social media.
Yeah, but that's more so like you just don't have the time. Because like I say, the money is your time. You're using money to pay for your time. And most people who start off their family, they don't have much money, so they're substituting their time for money. That's what they have to do. So you don't have a lot of time for your family because of the substituting, the manner in which way we do it. And most people don't have businesses, so they're working for somebody, or they got to go to a designated place at a designated time. That's what they have. Most people are doing. Most people don't have successful businesses. If they do, they call them hustles. They call them, they're not real jobs. Like,
but
they're
I think
not
it's
real
an excuse.
businesses.
I know
like
I know plenty of people who are two working parents and are raising good citizens in society.
No, I'm not saying it's impossible.
You have to work harder to pay attention. It's not an excuse.
Yeah,
like, I have to
it's
work,
not impossible. It just makes it more challenging. It's not impossible, but most people ain't. Like, you talking about the exception, not the rule. Most people are mediocre. Let's just be honest. Most people are not exceptional people. That's just what it is. If that would be the case, we would never have an average.
Yeah, but I think that there's too much emphasis on what people think that they see. In reality, is not the exception. There are a lot of people who are exceptional, like as far as like they're going against the norm. They realize that there's a deficit and they're filling in that deficit.
Yeah. I mean, but the other part of that is like, look, the problem that we have in this country is that we're the capitalist society. So everything is based off of money. And people pick their heroes now based off of how much money they got, popularity and money. And the two go usually hand in hand. And it's more so one without the other. And if the person could not have the money, they're not listening to you. So Uncle Jay or Auntie Riri, they're not listening no more. Because Auntie Riri ain't driving a BMW. Auntie Riri ain't taking the vacations every weekend. Well, her house is almost paid for and she about to retire. That's not what these young people are listening to.
That's a fact.
That's a problem.
Yep. Yeah, the priorities are fucked up.
Yep. It's all based off of money.
Yeah. Your priorities are fucked up because you think that that's all you need to do in order to be accepted, to be popular. That's why I said that people are just going after popularity, not survival. Like you can make a surviving wage making, $75,000 a year in most states, even in California. But people think they have to be ultra rich in order to be successful, and there's an in between. There's a different, you can make it. You don't have to be ultra rich in order to make it, but people don't see it that way. People are just too hypnotized from what they see. So,
I mean, but that's all about your perspective too, because what one person think is rich, another person might not think is rich, and when you finally attain what you think is rich, then you'll really figure it out. That's not what it was really about anyways. You left a lot of stuff on, and it depends on what you had to do to get it.
Yeah.
Because it ain't. Yeah, because think of the billionaires. Like, what's a moral billionaire that you think that went about it the right way, where he didn't have to screw people over to become a millionaire? Like when you really think about that question, you're gonna have a hard time to answer that question. A real moral billionaire. What does that look like? Who did it that way?
Yeah, that's about integrity, and most people don't really have integrity anymore. When
No.
you realize you could throw away your integrity in exchange for being rich, people would choose to be rich. They don't see any value in integrity anymore.
Oprah Winfrey.
Already going. Go ahead.
Oprah Winfrey did it the right way.
That depends on who you ask.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that to a point. I wouldn't say that. I mean, but okay, so like forget individual people. Like, what would be a moral person that became a billionaire? A person that will contribute back to their society and their own ethnic group, right? If we just go to those basic principles, there's not one of them that did that. Not one, because it goes against the actual audience that they're getting money from. So they don't do that.
Don't most billionaires what they call it for philanthropy or some shit like that?
Yeah, but that's for tax write-offs. That's so that you don't
Yep.
have to pay all of your money to the government.
You can't always say that. That could be from the bottom of that person's heart.
I mean, there may be
But it's
some
not
causes
going.
that's true, but it doesn't. But the biggest payoff is so that you don't have to pay as much money to the government. Like if I'm making $1 billion a year, my annual tax payment is going to be 40% of whatever that $1 billion is. Not, I mean, most people aren't making $1 billion a year, but I'm just saying if you're a billionaire, that's what, like $500 million a year that you're gonna have
No,
to
they
pay
don't
in
pay that much.
taxes or
But they
something
don't
like
pay.
that, whatever.
But they don't pay that much.
No,
Louis.
I'm saying, so what you do is you look for tax write-offs, so you don't have to pay
Yeah.
that much money.
So why
In
not pay?
philanthropy?
Come back, go ahead.
So philanthropy, you can write off a lot of that money for tax write-offs, so you don't have to pay that much money to the government. Not necessarily. I mean, not all of them, but I'm just saying that is a huge payoff. So in a capitalistic society, you there's a price on philanthropy, is what I'm saying.
What's the cap on how much they can get a write-off for contributions as far as
Last
gifts?
I checked, it was $10 million. But the thing is, you can open a lot of shell companies and
Yeah.
10 million
But that's
over
what they
here,
do.
10 million over there, 10 million over here, plus offseas, offshore accounts and all that kind of stuff. So there are other write-offs you can use.
Yeah, but most billionaires, they're not individuals, they're companies. They're owners of companies. That's how they spread their wealth out. Like really, it's hard to even classify them as billionaires because probably most of them don't technically know how much money they actually have.
They have liquid.
It's not like us. Yeah, it's not like us where you go to work and you just put your money in your bank account. They got money invested in certain, liquid cash.
Like how much money
Right.
you walk up to the ATM and
Right.
draw out?
That's not what they doing.
A lot of them
That's
are
not what
cash
they
poor.
doing.
It's called cash.
Yeah, they don't have any cash. And if they have cash, they go open up another business. They fire up another business to get the credit for those startup costs and all that other stuff that comes along with it.
Exactly. They live off
Yeah.
credit. So.
Yeah, they don't really have cash. And they then like
even
their
the United
houses
States
are
government does that.
Yeah.
That's why we have such a high debt.
But most of them aren't going to go against their business. Like even if they want to have philanthropy where they want to give back to their community, they're not going to have a thing that's going to be anti what they're selling, right? They're not going to be giving out shoes at $10 a pop. Like, for example, Michael Jordan, when he's selling $200, $300 sneakers, he's not going to do that. That's not what he's doing. So they're not going to do anything that's counter to what they're actually doing.
That's not him. That's Nike. Yeah.
Well, I mean, in general, they're not going to go against their business in general. At the cost of helping the community, they're probably not going to do that.
I'm trying to figure out how people say that Michael Jordan invested in private prisons, but I don't see where you could get the empirical data to prove that.
Well, it's not him; it's the companies that he works with and that's invested. So, like, if Nike contributed some money to private prisons, which a lot of these companies do, then you can make the correlation. There are a lot of companies like all you have to do is Google it, like Whole Foods, a lot of like furniture companies or whatever. They've invested into the prison industrial complex because that's a private prison. Prisons are private in America.
So how would that fall on Michael Jordan though? That's what I'm trying to understand.
Because he's doing business just by default, like by you're doing business with a company that is investing in that, and therefore your profits are coming from some of their profits that they're making from doing business with this industry.
Or it could be stuff that they buy. It could be stuff that they buy, like they could buy like investment funds that are. It's a lot of different ways that they can.
It could be real estate. It could be the ground that the prison was built on. It could be the
lot of different ways.
The limited wages. It could be the uniforms. It could be the calling cards that they invest in. It could be the prison guard company. It could be the security company that they've. I mean, there are so many ways to make money.
I mean, should he be faulted for that though?
Well,
no, that's what he wants to do. If that's what that's what he wants to do, and that's the ground he wants to stand on, and so be it. I mean, that's what he chose.
It's a moral lashing, is what I'm saying. Like people pick and choose what they want to consider to be moral and what's not moral. You know what I'm saying? So,
I mean, people going to jail regardless if you invest into it or not. So like,
but that's the same argument for the crack dealer. People gonna smoke crack no matter what.
Right.
See, crack is different
So,
because that's a legal substance.
well, people gonna smoke weed no matter what. People gonna buy alcohol no matter what.
You have to go back to the conversation that we were having before, as far as who gets convicted and who doesn't get convicted. Most of the people who are in prison were born poor into extreme poverty. You see what I'm saying? So it's not saying that, you know, poverty, you know, made them do whatever they did to get into jail, but I'm just saying they didn't have a chance to beat whatever case they had because they don't have the money. So they take these plea bargains, and the plea bargain system has become so lopsided to the point that it really affects mostly poor people, versus people who have money, you know, so you can buy your way out of jail. And in most cases, a lot of people who are in prison for things that people who had money, they would not go to prison for.
Yeah, they can't even afford the bond. Like, I think that's one thing they got away with in Chicago. They did the no bond system up there where you don't have to pay a bond or something. They also did some other goofy stuff up there, but that bond,
dangerous shit. They're playing with fire here.
Yeah, they did some real goofy stuff with the way that they did it up there in Illinois. But just that bond system where you got to pay to get out of jail while you await trial, that whole system right there makes people want to take those plea deals just to get out of jail. You sign this paper, you get out, we gonna let you go. I know you ain't got $10,000, but if you sign this paper, we'll just put you on probation for 2 years.
Right.
It's the game. That's how I go. But that billionaire stuff and these people, like that morality stuff, that stuff gets funny because people's morality start bending and twisting because they have favors of people that they like. But then when you start really looking into it, it doesn't really exist as far as a billionaire and one that has real morality that lines up with some of the things you say. Because sometimes you'll have to end up contradicting some of the things that you actually say that you're against, that you find out these people are into.
Yeah, it's a catch-22 because people go by surface, what they see on the surface, and they just, you know, fall in lust with what they see on the surface. They don't do the deep dive before they put their money behind these people, like the Kardashians or whatever, like all the nefarious shit that they may be involved in. But you just like the fact that they're pretty and they're popular and all these other types of things. But then when you do a deeper dive, when they become unpopular, you'll see the truth behind, you know, what really got them to where they are.
I don't know.
You just have to be careful. I mean, don't be quick to jump on anyone's bandwagon is the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because all of it is pretty much fake. Anything you see in camera is made. It's manufactured. So don't look at celebrities or billionaires or whatever as role models. You have to do that. That shit has to start in the home. You know what I'm saying? Your parents should be your big role models. They should be the ones setting down the law and telling you the laws of the land and what type of person you know is right to be. And look at your parents as role models. They should be setting that example. They should be leading by example.
Yeah. And you got to do your own research because it's a lot of false narratives, especially with black people that got a semblance of money. It's a lot of false narratives that get pushed on people where they're always almost about to go broke or losing their money and just weird stuff, goofy stuff that they do with black people who are celebrities who have risen to a certain level of money. It's all this strange stuff. Like recently they had this weirdo rumor that Michael Jordan was going broke because he invested in GameStop, short in it, he lost a bunch of money, which if you listen to the way they proposed it, that's all nonsense. Like none of that stuff makes any sense. That's just internet nonsense that somebody came up with and people aren't really understanding how shorting works. And don't understand that.
That was a pump and dump stock, wasn't it? For a while, like they pumped it and dumped it.
Yeah, but the problem with it was this is the problem with the way that they put it in, right? They said that Michael Jordan was shorting GameStop through this certain firm, and that he was doing it over a term of like a year and a half or 2 years, and then he lost a bunch of money. So when you're shorting the stock, you're saying that the stock is going to go down. And you're going to make money off of the stock going down. Right. Well, the problem with shorting a stock is that you have to borrow. So you have to basically get a margin. You're borrowing the stock. You don't actually own the stock. So you have to go through your broker to borrow the stock to lever that it's going to go down. And as it goes down, you make money. But as it goes up, you lose money. Now, the thing with shorting is you're borrowing money. You're not borrowing like magical money. You're borrowing it from a broker. So the broker is the one who actually has to foot the bill not you, the broker. So the broker is going to foot the bill for whatever is going down. The broker has to pay that up front, and then they get the money back from you with interest. So the broker is not going to let you keep a short on that's steadily losing money past a certain amount. And say I have a short on, just another example of why it makes stupid. If I have, let's say I got $400,000, and I put it on GameStop, that stock we're talking about, and I short the stock. Shorts have endless losses, so you can lose more than the 400 grand. Just because you only put 400 grand on a short, that doesn't mean that's where it stops at. Remember, again, the broker is on the hook for the short, so they'll close your position and force you to pay them. They're not going to let you go past
so that's what they're probably saying. That's why they're saying he was going broke, because he had to pay for those shorts. He had to pay his broker.
No, but he wouldn't, because the broker wouldn't. Why would the broker, if you're my broker, let's say you got Schwab, right, or whatever, TD Ameritrade, don't matter, and you got a short on it, say it's $5,000, right? That's your $5,000. That's what I said you could borrow, $5,000 to short this stock. If you only got $20,000 in your account, why would I let you short past what you actually own, what you got in your account? That don't even make any sense, because again, the broker has to pay.
Like a lot of these rich people are living off of credit.
That's not how that works, though. They have to close it out and pay it, though.
Right. So if
it's an actual transaction.
So if all his liquid assets go back to paying that broker, then he may be going broke.
No, but it would have been in his account. That's what I'm telling you.
We don't know how much liquid asset he has. We just said that we don't know how much his liquid asset is.
No. But it would have been in the same account. Like, regardless of however much he had.
I'm not saying that it's true, and I'm not saying that it's not, but we don't know what his money really looks like.
Nah, but what I'm telling you is not possible. It's literally not possible, because the broker will have to front it. And why would they front anything that you don't have in your account? They're going to pay the bill first, and you're going to pay them out of the account.
All the time for doing that.
Not for 2 years. It's not even possible. What I'm telling you is not possible. It don't make no sense. I get what you're saying, but not in this case. Because that's not how this works. It's not celebrity. They don't care about person. The broker has to stay in business. So they have to clear those books out at the end of the day. They can't just roll it over for days and days and on end and months and years. They can't just have a running ledger where you got 500, 700, 800, $1 million too. Like, it don't work like that. They got to pay. They got to clear their books and pay it, and you're paying every month.
Well, I could give a fuck less if he's going broke or not, because he ain't giving me no money. So.
No, I was just pointing out the fact that the rumors that people point out with black people, they just don't make any sense, and people just spin themselves in a knot trying to make that shit make sense, and that's just not how that stuff go. And a lot of times, just black people get to a certain level, and people do that to minimize their accomplishment, to say that they got in a problem just because, and they don't even know where this crap come from, because none of it's true.
Well, people go with the rhetoric all the time because they just simply don't understand how money works. I understand what you're saying, but as far as GameStop goes, they pumped it, they dumped it, and then they broke even eventually. So I mean, no one's going broke off of that stock anyway. If that's the one they were talking about only.
A lot of people lost money. Don't get it twisted. A lot of people lost money. But the idea that you can keep a short,
money are the people who are not putting the most money into it.
No, people lost a lot of money, but you can't keep a short, like an open-ended short, where you just you can't keep an open-ended short open for 2 years. That's literally impossible. That's the most ridiculous thing ever, because it's not your money. That's the problem. That's the whole emphasis I'm making. When you short a stock, you're literally borrowing money against a broker. Unless you're a broker, you got to borrow money to short a stock. It's not your money, and you're paying that short back. When they close that position, you're paying it back, hopefully for profit. That's what you're doing. So why the fuck would a broker let you do that? It don't make no sense. It's just silliness. That's the narrative that was pushed.
Y'all seen where Mark said, "I don't think Epstein killed himself"?
Yeah, a lot of people don't think that. I didn't really.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I think they hung him. Yeah, I think they killed him. Because he knew too much. Because there were too many power players that were involved.
What if he killed himself?
Well, why would he kill himself?
I mean, I don't know.
Because he could have used those people as leverage to get out.
Yeah, he had no kids. He wasn't protecting his family or wife. Most of the people do that when they don't. He didn't have any kids. He didn't have no wife. He had nobody to protect. Well, he do it himself now.
Nah.
I mean, he might have took a players where he was just being true to the game.
What game? He was met on some pedophiles and people running countries. If anything, he would think he can make a phone call and get himself out of there. If anything, it'd be the opposite.
He had too much leverage on those
Yeah.
people.
Look, he was probably a ball guy, and he understood the assignment, and he did what he did.
You don't understand the assignment. That's a hip hop culture shit.
Stop that like that.
That's some TikTok shit, nigga. Your life is on the line. Ain't no fucking understanding that.
What he had to side there? He had to side out pills in the pocket, like just in case. Go ahead and pop one of these things right here, just in case you get caught.
Here's the funny thing about understanding the assignment. That's a rap song.
But I'm serious, bro. It just he might have took a player.
I know you're serious. That's what makes it so funny.
Yeah, I think he understood the assignment, man.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
He's supposed to pop that pill, shoot himself in the neck with that syringe.
Yeah. Because he knew what was gonna happen to him if he went in there and told on folks. So why, if he got out, he knew what was gonna happen to him.
If he told them, they knew what was gonna happen to them. That's how leverage works.
Yeah. And he was never getting out of jail.
The other person doesn't have anything to lose.
Yeah,
it would
he
be
got
very
nothing to lose.
obvious if he got out and he just ended up dead. If he woke up dead, nah, that's not how it works. Leverage is because okay, you got me, and I got you. Now let's break even on this shit.
Yeah, because he's in jail already. What's he got to lose? He's never getting out of jail. What's he got to lose? He was never getting out of jail.
They were never supposed to let his ass go to jail, but shit, since he got caught. Exactly. That's the whole point. That's why you keep ledgers. That's why you keep names. That's why you keep a running tab of shit of what's going on, so that just in case some shit happens, you should even do that on a regular job. You know what I'm saying? If you're being harassed at a job, you need to be keeping dates and times and all that kind of shit. That way that they don't stand a case against you. That's the way that leverage works. But too many people just let shit go by and just play victim. And when you're a player at that level, you don't just play victim. There ain't no laying down on that shit. He's like, fuck, oh, you got me. I'm in jail, but I won't be in here for long. He was going to get out. And he was going to take a whole lot of people down with him. Look at what's going on with Trump now.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's some other dumb shit. They just don't want that dude running, man. That's a whole nother thing. You know what that did? That reset the whole political landscape now to whenever the other party doesn't want the person running, they're gonna go back and start investigating. They don't understand what they did. Now when the Republicans get in, they're gonna go investigate. They know what they
did, but it's the game that people play, and they don't have anything to lose from it. They're using us. They're using our tax money and manipulating the public. They don't give a fuck about that. It's all about what
they're gonna go back. Yeah, but people that's all emotional now, when they go back and investigate Biden and they investigate Obama and find something and try to throw their ass in jail, it's gonna be spun up. Like they don't open up Pandora's box and they don't even know how toxic
they're all
made this
politics
dirty, so
shit. I don't care. They could all
they dirty. No, we know that, but I'm saying that they just got us into the point where now we're not gonna get anything. We're just gonna be in this stupid game.
We ain't had nothing in a long time.
Yeah, it's gonna get worse.
We've been in a stalemate for a long fucking time.
Yeah, it's gonna get worse.
Maybe it'll work to the opposite. Maybe it will finally.
I doubt it.
Maybe it'll clear the slate and we'll get some fucking people who like some actual. We need to stop having these old ass fucking white men only in politics. People who have an old mindset of how the world should look. We need some people who are really, active in the way that the world really looks, running for office. What's really going on? Not what.
But who's running right now? But look who's running now. Yeah, you got Biden he's falling over the stage and looking down on the ground like something down there and saying hail to the king, and all that foolishness. But you don't have nobody contesting them. But look who's contesting them. You got that guy, and look who's contesting them. And what way are we gonna change it? Yeah, what way are we changing anything? Nothing is changing.
No, I just said.
Well, they're not gonna let. They trying to make sure that Trump don't run.
Yeah. Well,
but they trying not to make Trump run.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
Yeah, but now,
no business being in office anyway. But that's fine.
But no more than Biden. It's the same shit because Biden trumps the same policies for the most part that Trump had. That's what Biden did. The COVID shit.
Well, these are not any of their own policies. They're all puppets. So
I get it. But what's the difference?
What you really need to do is get to the people, these super PACs. and fucking take their asses down.
Yep. That's a whole different argument.
They're
And
the
who
rule
controls the
makers.
media?
Right.
And the media
They control the
controllers.
media as well. They control the
Yep.
Murdochs, the Rupert Murdochs, and all them. They are putting
Yep.
money into these super PACs who are getting who they want to be voted in because they are in their best interest, not our best interest, but their best interest. They're all puppets.
No. Yeah, because remember when Trump, listen, none of the stuff we've gotten over the last 15 years is for our interest, and it's going to get worse. Because they now what they've moved it to is a social construct where we're arguing over things that have nothing to do with us. Like if Trump goes to jail or doesn't go to jail, that shit don't matter to us at all.
Nothing at all. Yeah.
That don't give a fuck if he go to jail or he
Like
don't
you
go
said,
to
they
jail.
just don't want him
Like,
to run in 2024. I know.
they just don't want that man to run. And then Biden, if you look at it, it's like, oh, well, at least he ain't Trump, but he ain't doing shit for you. So like we've got to the point where we have no expectations for these dudes to do anything for us.
Yeah,
And
but
it's a
that's our
dangerous
fault.
spot.
That's the general public's fault because they don't vote.
Yep.
They don't pay attention. They don't run for office. They don't lobby against things that they don't want to happen. And we have that power to do that. It doesn't cost, it doesn't cost a whole lot of money. You just have to get your shit organized and understand the law enough in order to put your interest in lobby against things that you don't want. But we don't do that. We've become lazy and complacent as a society. So until that changes, then there will be no change.
Do y'all believe Trump say the Atlanta DA had an affair with Nut?
Who?
Say it again like that. I ain't catch that. Say it again.
When Trump said the DA, Atlanta DA, had an affair with Nut. The one that got you don't know the one that got killed. Yeah, Nut, big Nut. You know the one like? Have you ever listened to YFN Lucci?
No, never.
Yeah, who is that? Who is that? Or is he like an actor or singer or something?
It's a long story behind it.
He's a rapper.
He wasn't even a rapper. He was kind of like he was over like Rich Homie Quan. He was like the manager for Rich Homie Quan.
Oh yeah, I know he was with Ray Janae. Yeah, but I never really listened to his music yet.
No. That's why I said Lucci. Big Nut was over like Rich Homie Quan. And then he was trying to, bro, come on, y'all, bro, Mike.
Well, you said YFN Lucci, and that's who I know. Yeah,
yeah. You know, it's you know, and then he Nut got killed back in like I think January of 2015. So it was basically like a part of
an affair with him.
Yeah, Trump said she was having an affair with him.
Oh, Nut is a woman.
No, Nut is a man.
The prosecutor is a woman. I know the prosecutor is a woman.
Yeah, the prosecutor is a woman, and then the DA is a woman, and he
probably so. I mean, probably so, but I don't see what they got to do with anything. He's probably right. I mean, they do all kind of weird stuff.
I don't think he's right. He just made it up.
Nut is a black woman.
Probably.
No, Nut is a man. Like
the DA is a black woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, the DA is a black
woman. I don't think Trump was fucking with her then.
No, he was giving out gossip. He's saying he gave out gossip saying that she was having an affair with this black rapper manager.
Oh,
yeah.
It's
probably true. I mean, it's probably true. You got some, who knows? It ain't going to be relevant to getting him out of this. They got so many cases against that dude. They're going to find something to stick at this point. It's fucking stupid.
They calling a grown man big nut. It's hilarious.
Yeah, that's what they call it. Like, that's what they call it. It is. So you ain't never heard like
Yo son, you need to find his government name. We can't call him Big Nut no more. His mama named him Gary. We gonna call him Gary.
Nah, his name start with a D or something like that. I can't remember. It was.
Hold up, his name is
Big Dick Nuts.
Big Nut.
Nah, man, but
Big Nut.
Oh,
like that, man.
I'm so confused.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said his name wrong. His name is Big Nut D.
Nah, bro. Nah. But y'all ain't never heard YFN Lucci
coming to the stage.
These big nuts.
Y'all ain't never heard YFN Lucci Unstoppable?
No.
Nah, son.
Damn, bro, how you ain't heard that, Mark? You in Atlanta?
What's the song called again?
Unstoppable.
No.
No, how the hook go?
We unstoppable. We went through so many obstacles. Like you don't remember? That was a big ass song back then, like 2016.
No, never.
Never mind.
Let me
Yeah,
think of
but
who. You know, I think I might have been listening
I
to
know
Drake
that.
until
I know that
he
song,
out.
"Raz the Riches," "Raz the Riches,"
nah, that's
"Raz the Riches,"
that's
"Raz the Riches." I
artist.
remember that.
I really
Riches,
don't know the name of that song.
riches. I know that song by Wild Fan Lucci, but
It was something like you got to put God first. I had to turn. I can't remember it like
so
that.
how does that tie into D Big Nut or Big
Nah,
Nut D?
nah, because he was saying like Trump alleged that the DA had an affair with him.
Yeah, but what the song
He
got to
had
do
these
with
nuts
that?
in her
No,
mouth.
I'm trying to like correlate like who he is because he
He was
said
asking a
So
general
what? Big
question
Nut D is
without
on that song.
nah he
He was
shot him out in
manager.
the song.
He was the manager or something of those dudes.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, something like that. And that's why when they brought up the charges on
Why
Young
Penn?
Thug,
No.
Young Thug, that's why she was like, I told I can't remember his government name, but she was like, I told his mom that we was gonna get justice for him, da 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 da. So it all ties into that shit.
And why does what they got to do with Donald Trump cases?
Yeah, I
Because
don't know.
I don't know why Donald Trump brought it up.
No, Trump brought it up, dude. But you know what? Trump ain't gonna never spend a day in jail, bro. So that's the other part of this. They gonna waste all this time, all these resources. That man ain't. And if he was having to go to jail, people don't know they had to send Secret Service to jail with him some kind of crazy way. He gets Secret Service no matter where he go. He ain't going to jail, bro.
Wait, don't you lose that? Like, how do we know that? I mean, because
Yeah,
it's
once you're
never
a
happened
convicted
before. I've
felon,
heard
I
people
don't
say
think
it in
so.
theory,
Yeah, I had to
but
strip him.
Yeah, no.
I heard plenty of people say
If
the
he's a
theory.
civilian, once you're a civilian, yeah, but if you're a convicted felon, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Dang.
We'll see.
put his ass in PC, he'll be all right.
Never happened, yeah.
Hey,
We'll
and
see.
He'll be in a low security, minimum security, country
He ain't
club
going to
type
jail,
of
bro.
federal prison,
I don't even think he's going to jail. I'd be surprised if that dude spent one minute
I'll
in
be
jail.
surprised too if
Yeah,
he
me
do.
too. Me too.
Because look, I
know.
saw this one story where this judge, she called dead to rights, drinking and driving. She was sentenced to 6 months in jail and like $1,000 fine. The judge reduced the sentence to like $375 fine, and he reduced her 6 months in jail for that DUI to 3 days.
See, because they be calling in favors.
6 months to 3 days. So shit, I've seen. Look, it was. I don't know if y'all remember this story. What's that dude, Malcolm Wallace? This happened back in the day, and they better now than they were back then. Malcolm Wallace got convicted of murder, killed the damn golf pro broad daylight. Got convicted. He walked out of jail with a suspended sentence and probation after being convicted of murder because he was Lyndon B. Johnson's right hand man. Mm-hmm. So man, it's one thing to have money, but it's another thing to have connections.
Yeah, those connections
and power. Yeah,
they call in favors with those connections.
And then the people that got to prosecute them, look, the politicians that are pushing this, they low key don't want that shit to go because they know they got similar shit going on. They don't fucking want to get convicted of that shit.
Not Harvey Weinstein, but that's what we're talking about with Epstein. He's gonna call in. He was gonna pull that thread. Once you pull that thread, the whole shit unravels.
Yeah, they just doing that for the show. They don't want that dude to set that precedent up.
The connections is what I know about you, and the reason I got dirt on your ass. I got big dirt on you. Yeah,
I'm telling you, he understood that.
Sometimes it ain't even them; it's their kids. Like I know your kid raped that one girl in college at that frat party, and I got him off on a conviction. So you owe me like some big shit. It ain't even just them.
Man, like that got him taking cyanide pills and shooting himself in the neck to kill himself.
I'm telling you, man. I mean, he might have been killed. I mean,
because he understood the assignment.
Yeah, he understood. Look, man, I'm telling you, man, he knew what it was.
Oh my God!
If he went in there and testified against some guys, he knew he was gonna get killed anyway. So why not just go ahead and take himself out of his own misery?
You got to kill me. He in prison. Ain't like he's just walking the streets.
Hey, is Rainbow Hair Boy dead?
Nah, see,
Okay.
I mean, that was a street game. Like niggas can't organize. Man.
Yeah, but niggas went to jail for life for that shit.
I don't think nobody.
Like
I
you said,
think
the
the
street
most
game.
somebody got. I think the most somebody got was like 50-something years. Nobody got.
Oh yeah, that's life.
Nah, but I mean, I don't know. You know, street
You think
games.
people? I mean, they can't feed their families. They can't ever come out again. You think that? And I'm like, if anybody's gonna get killed, it should be that dude, or even just somebody who knows those guys. If they all that hard, like they said they were. You know what I'm saying?
But that's the thing about black people. We only want to attack each other.
You're not black though.
No, I'm saying
that ain't what happened on the riverboat.
I mean, bro, that was different. That was different. I'm talking about when there's like,
boy, we came together like that shit was for civil rights, boy.
They understood the
They said we gonna do what Martin them didn't do, nigga. Like, this shit ain't happening today. Fuck that back of the bus shit, boy. Them niggas playing in, bro.
Hey, Mark, today was the first day that I saw what happened to Aquaman, man. Like, I didn't realize that he got out of the water and then walked up there, took his shoes off, and wrestled somebody down to the fucking ground.
Yo, me too. I owe him an apology, man. That kid got busy.
Yeah, I was thinking about that conversation.
He about that action, bro. He got busy.
He got busy. Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Real one, bro. He better than me. I wasn't gonna do shit. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. I would have been one of them people filming, man. I'm sorry.
Catch my breath, like, oh my god, I'm about to die. What the fuck was I thinking?
Somebody asked me the other day, they was like, Mark, what you would have did? You would have jumped in. I was like, hell no, nigga. I'm 40.
Yeah, my fight days is behind me.
My fight days behind me, bro, nigga. I said, win, lose, or draw, nigga. I'm gonna be sore. I'm about to shake.
I ain't got no breath to waste. Hell
nigga, I was like, bro, and not to mention, nigga, I got shit to do in the morning. I can't be. Yeah. I gotta get on the internet and talk to y'all. I can't be out there catching cases in Alabama.
No, that boy was on pure adrenaline. Listen, my sister's the one that sent it to me. My sister, almost 60 years old. She said, "I think you and me would have done the same thing." I was like, off of straight adrenaline. She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "I don't know about that, sis. I don't know." If I was in the water, Foodie. He swam like 100 yards and shit.
Yo, that nigga was, and he's a great with clothes on, like fully clothes.
Clothes on, all heavy and shit.
That nigga strong, man. That little nigga strong, man.
That's that 60-year-old power, man. You just invincible.
That nigga has mermaid.
That water saved them white folks, man. If he would have hit that water, boy, he might have had a little bit too much straight for their ass, bro.
Right. Hey, but peep this. I think I better serve my community by being one of those people that filmed. So I would have had some footage for you guys to document what went wrong. I think I better serve my community that way.
You wouldn't have been chair guy?
Definitely ain't chair guy, bro. I'm definitely not chair guy.
Why didn't you just
the chairman. Hey, look, chairman. He's the chairman. The chairman of the board.
In the water.
Yeah, he's the chairman of the board. Nah, he hit, man. That nigga went straight SummerSlam WWE with that shit. That nigga thought he was. In a cage match.
He was real calm with it too. Like he's like, I'm out the water now, nigga. What? Now what? I'm on land again.
Thing. Ain't no rules in fighting, bro. This ain't no boxing ring. We out here in real life.
Listen,
whatever the fuck I can get my hands on, this happening.
I couldn't hit that lady with that chair like that. It was too many dudes still around that was a threat that you could have went after with that jet, but they hit a lady who already down. I'm sorry.
Objection. Hey, objection, Mark. He blanked out. That man blanked out. Right? Objection.
It was all adrenaline.
Fair enough. That nigga said, I just got finished watching that movie Glory.
You wouldn't have been like Jocelyn Hernandez, who was beating up the cops and shit at the Mayweather fight and all that shit.
Definitely not.
You could just be caught up in the moment.
I'm calm under pressure, man.
You don't know what drugs them people might have been on before they went.
Hell no. I got to be calm under pressure, man. Like I said, I got shit to do in the morning. I can't be out here catching no cases.
Y'all saw that?
I ain't doing none of that.
Y'all seen that video where Jocelyn attacked the police officer or some shit like that?
She literally just said that. Nigga,
she was wild, yeah.
I think she's they got a warrant out for her. She's like on the run or some shit, they said.
I thought they already got her in custody.
Oh, maybe they do.
They arrested her. Yeah, but even that, she got off like a celebrity. When you ever seen a woman do that type of anybody do that type of shit to a cop and that happened to him severe?
That bitch was on cocaine. Like that ain't the first time she did that. She did that shit on the Love and Hip Hop reunion when she commenced to beating Joe Budden ass.
Yeah, that's scary. I'm talking about like you ever seen somebody put their hands on the police and them show that kind of restraint. Like, nah, man, they don't give a fuck.
Nah,
they ain't
could've killed
respect the
her ass.
persons. They
But were
don't
they
give a
real
fuck
police or were
about
they
who you
security
is.
guards? I can't
Nah, they
remember.
was real police.
They was police. She was cussing
That-
them out before she did that part. Yeah, they was real calm with their ass.
Then she was like, "Don't you fucking touch me."
And she was wilding, man.
What kind of
Oh,
shit?
like,
That's what I'm
damn.
talking about. This fucking shit that Mayweather be involved in this shit on that fucking bullshit ass network. Like, I know he about the money, but like, nigga, you be with some fucking ghetto
What
ass
you talking
shit.
about? What happened?
That shit was on the Zeus network. You ever heard the Zeus network?
Zeus.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
Zeus, nigga. Zeus, your
I
ass
never
up
watched it, but like if you watch any type of gossip, Zeus Network is like a pay-per-view type of channel where they be having the most bullshit shows like love, trying to
Zeus?
find love with the gay guys and like, they be having straight ghetto ass, with what's that show where the girls be fighting each other?
Love and Hip Hop.
Girl Club or something.
Yeah, girl fight club or what they be having all that, and all they have is that kind of content on them channels. They don't have no real content.
Is it new stuff they doing or they doing the reruns? That's
No,
all
they
that
be doing
new shit is
shit.
that?
They be having like marriage boot camp type
shit.
of bullshit. Have you ever seen? I mean, I haven't watched Love and Hip Hop for a long time, but I saw like the very tip of like the Miami one, and Trina got a cousin. His Bobby Digital or Bobby Lights or some shit like that. Not Bobby Digital. I'm sorry about that. It ain't Bobby Digital, but Bobby right. He gay, right? He like a flamboyant gay, and this nigga be having. People looking for love type of show on there, and them niggas be like eating ass on there and all kind of crazy shit.
No, hell no.
That's the kind of shit they have on there, like nothing but straight fuckery.
Man, I can't believe Mayweather co-signing it.
They got the money. That nigga just greedy for the money. He don't care about Zeus Network. Yeah,
but yeah, that's where that Floyd Mayweather versus John Gotti fight premiered.
That was on there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was on Zeus.
Yep.
Yeah, I got it off YouTube, but yeah, it was on there.
Zeus.
Yep, Zeus Network.
Why would
right
they
up there with two?
Ain't Zeus a Greek god? Why would they name a television show after
It's just a name, I don't know why they did. Why did BLK Prime name it BLK Prime? Who knows?
Yeah, but why they got all these? We go a whole nother way with that. Why all these black people that go to these colleges be so heavy on these sororities and they're all Greek names? None of them are African names.
Right, none of them are
not
Greek.
one.
Yeah.
All of them Greek names, and that Greeks didn't fuck with Africa.
And they're so proud of it.
Explain that shit to me.
But I pledge
Explain
Greek.
that shit to me.
I never agree with that. A lot of these black colleges. A lot of these black colleges and universities are actually named after white people too, like Spelman and all that shit.
Yep.
Yeah, Howard.
Yeah.
I don't know about Howard, but yeah.
Yeah, but that's people not knowing the history. That's a whole nother thing.
Well,
People
whoever
just don't know history.
contributed the most money to it and all that, and that's what we're talking about with politics and these super PACs. People don't know where shit comes from, but they know how to manipulate the lower classes on some straight, racism shit. Like racism, some people, I can understand the argument where they say racism doesn't exist. I'm not saying that it doesn't, but it's a mind manipulation tactic, because when it comes to when you make money, they don't give a fuck. All it is about the green. You know what I'm saying? A rich white person is not going to not do money with a rich black person because they're black. It's stupid. But they can both manipulate the lower classes into doing whatever they want to get them money. It's all a manipulation content.
But they will too, to an extent, Woody. Like if it won't hurt their business, then they won't include you. Like I give you an example. Like if you look at big tech, the employees and the best, you would think they would get the best and the brightest and all of that. Like if you look at big tech, for the most part, as far as black representation in those big companies, it's less than 10%. So we can't say that it's less than 10% black people that are qualified to work at these companies. But that's the move that they've made. And they're doing it because there's no penalty for them to do it. They figured out a way to make money in spite of it. Yeah.
I can't say that there's less than 10% black talent. I don't know how many are applying though. How many applications are you shutting down?
Less than 10%.
That's what I would
of
need
the
to know.
entire company.
Well, you don't know. I don't know that.
No
I need to know how many people are applying and are getting shut down before I can say that.
Come on now, less than 10%. That's not even.
Because a lot of people want to claim
Nah.
that they're not getting any raises, but they're not asking for them. A lot of people want to
I'm not
say
even talking about
they're
raises.
not getting
I'm
certain
talking about-
things. Well, in general, a lot of people are.
Yeah, I'm talking about being hired.
A lot of people are saying they're excluded from things that they don't even attempt to try at.
Yeah, but that's not. But I'm talking about black people getting hired at these big.
So
you're gonna
have to give me some bona fide statistics to show me that there are black people who are applying and they're getting shut down before I can say.
But we're never gonna get this. We just know that doesn't reflect the society.
It's a moot point.
It's not, because we know it's more than 10% of black people who want to work at these companies. No, it's not.
There's no point in me having this conversation until I know those numbers.
What numbers? How you gonna know? You don't know who applies for any company if that's what we're doing.
Well, yeah, you can prove that there are black applicants that are being shut down for certain things. You can prove that there are women that are going for certain positions that are being picked over because of less qualified men. You can prove that.
We can't prove that.
Thing. It is a provable thing. Just like any other statistic. Numbers.
But we don't have the numbers of who applied.
We don't have the numbers. That's why there's no point in having a conversation about it.
No, that's your opinion. I mean, if it's less than 10%, it's more than 10% of the population of a certain group. It is my opinion, and I say that I'm not having a conversation about something that I have no data to prove. No, but you're never going to get it.
Okay, well then there's no point in me ever having a conversation then.
But that's like the super PAC. We know the super PAC impacts the election, it impacts all kind of stuff, but we having a conversation about that, but there's no data to prove it.
Okay.
But we know that's an impactful thing.
Mm-hmm.
You locked out of certain industries, that's just what it is. Some things ain't gonna move around the way that they're gonna move. They've been like that for a long time, and they're gonna stay locked up like that.
Right.
Pittsburgh T, do you think you have a defeated mindset when you're just saying that, like, that's the way it was, that's the way it's always gonna be, like that mentality?
That is his position on lots of things.
That mentality, like, people will still be slaves by that mentality, right?
No, but I mean, Mark, if we're looking at the data of people who are hired in these companies, we're looking at the data and the percentiles, it's so little, and it's been like that for such a long time, and they've been making billions and trillions of dollars doing that, having that culture. Why would it?
One-sided data. It's one-sided data, and this is another thing about it, Pittsburgh T. We have to consider the demographics of where they're trying to pick it up. Like, for instance, I work in nursing, where it's 98% women. Why is that? Not because men can't become nurses, it's because they're not applying for nursing. They're not going to nursing school and becoming nurses. So if you say that, well, it's mostly women in nursing that are making the most money and men are not, that's because they're not applying for it. I need to know what the demographics are.
Yeah, but how can we say, like, there's a whole group there, but that's not even a relevant. That's not even a relevant number.
I'm using that industry as
yeah, but that's not even. There's just not 90. Tech. But it's not 98% women that are nurses, though. That's not true.
Okay.
That's not true. There's not 98% nurses that are women. So you're saying there's 98% women that are nurses? You're trying to tell me there's not. Yeah, but you're trying to tell me there's 98% of nurses are women? Like, come on, what are we doing?
Can you pull up the data from that?
Yeah. You can't pull up the data for it.
No, Foodie, I'm talking about you. Can you pull up the 98%?
I can't right now. Well, hold on. Let me get them on my laptop.
Yeah, because I don't know. That seemed a little high.
How many have you gone into? How many places have you gone into? And there's men that are registered nurses or even nurse practitioners. Like, I literally am about to start the RN program in 3 weeks, and for the VN program and the RN program, I literally saw like 3 men that are going into. It's not because they haven't applied though. I mean, it's not because they're not being accepted. It's because they haven't applied. So hold on.
What's the highest level of nursing? Like,
registered nursing.
That's it. Like, it's nothing above that.
No, not in the United, not in all of the world. Yeah. Nurse practitioners are considered advanced practice nurses. They're considered providers, just like doctors or PAs. So they're nurses. So, I mean, I guess you can kind of say that that's the highest form of nursing, but they're not practicing as a nurse. They are providers. They can write prescriptions. They can diagnose. We can't. Nurse anesthetist is actually a low-level anesthesiologist. They have to go to RN school, get their bachelor's degree, get their master's degree, and then go into a 3-year CRNA program. So they're not practicing as a nurse. They're not bedside nurses. Somebody put that in the comment section.
So what kind of nurse are you right now?
Right now, I'm a licensed vocational nurse, and I'm going to get my registered nursing. I have 1 year program.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, shout out to you for it.
Thank you. Mark said there are over 3,037,611 nurses currently employed in the United States. 86% of all nurses are women, while 14% are men. The average nurse is age 43 years old, and I'm 43 years old.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mark.
But I still think it's different than what Pittsburgh's saying, because that's gender. He talking about race though.
I mean, but that's look, the way I look at this whole thing, like we can infer stuff off of data, and we can also incur, like, it depends on how you want to interpret data. Always, it's always about how you interpret data, and most of that stuff that you're going to get correct data is from the U.S. Census, and that's where everything spin off. When we get that data, we should be getting one pretty soon. That's where a lot of this data comes.
It's every 10
years. As far as hiring practices, it's really no way, because you're not going to get the applicant. Nobody's going to tell you who applied for a job. There's no way. It's impossible. There's no way. They don't have to tell you. They're not going to tell you.
What I said is like this is what I'm saying. Like maybe like in a black city like Atlanta, right? You can say maybe there would be more black male or even black female applicants in a city like that versus Tuscaloosa, Alabama. So it all depends on demographics and who is applying for the job based on, what the demographic is. You're obviously not going to have as many black people applying for that job in Tuscaloosa or Austin, Texas, where it's more Hispanic, versus a city like maybe New York, where there has a higher percentage. So it all just it's based on demographic as well. So when I take into consideration any type of a census or a poll, or when you say this demographic isn't getting higher, well, how many people are in that specific area? I've always worked in areas where it's predominantly white and Hispanic. And so therefore I don't expect to go into a clinic and see a lot of black faces, but I can't say that black people aren't getting hired. They don't live there and they're not applying for jobs at the medical facilities that I work at. I don't mind being the only black person because they don't fucking live there. What am I supposed to say? Black people move to the desert, move to Rancho Mirage, move to the San Fernando Valley, move to Sherman Oaks, move to Woodland Hills, where there's predominantly white Jews there. And they're excluding us out because I don't see very many black people in the facility that I work at, is where there's 100,000 employees and I see 5 faces. They don't fucking live there. They're gonna apply to places in South LA.
People do it, but people do that all the time. They work in places that they don't live. They drive an hour or two to
like
work.
Me, I'm one of them. I just said that, but I don't expect to see a lot of people. But I can't say they're being excluded.
No, but that's